Me. Hello, everyone. It's like, what's it going to be? It's going to be me. Hello, friends and enemies, and welcome to Girls Run These Worlds. Thank you so much for joining our 5th session of Alien. I know, they're still alive. My name is Fiona. I use she, her pronouns, and I have the incredible honor and privilege of being the game mother for this series, for this campaign, and for this incredible cast of folks. Now, before I ask our wonderful cast to introduce themselves, let me tell you a little bit more about Alien and what the stream is at the top of the session. The Alien RPG is published by Free League, also known for some incredible RPGs such as Tales from the Loop, Vassan, Coriolis, Dragonbane, Walking Dead, which is coming to Kickstarter soon, and many, many more. I'm a massive fan of these games, and I'm a massive fan of the Alien franchise because, well, if you've watched the last 4 episodes, you'll see why. As always, if you enjoy this game, if you enjoy us playing it, and you want to try out Alien for yourself, we're going to drop a link in the chat where you can get it. And of course, a massive, massive thank you to Free League for sponsoring the stream. Now, with all that in mind, folks, and I say this every time, and I know you're like, oh, come on, Fiona, I want to get to the cast because they're more interesting. And I'm like, I know, but the world of Alien is a dark and terribly bleak place with lots of focus on mature, dark themes, horror, and violence. You know, the big three, essentially. Now, with all campaigns that we run here at Girls Run These Worlds, the cast and I have done our session 0, gone over lines and veils, and have safety tools in effect. However, I want to give you, the viewers out there who are watching this, full permission to just go, I'm done now. This is it. I'm off at this next planet. That's great. I just want to give you that full permission to be safe and take a break when you need to, because you are always more important than the roles on the table. Finally, also, the scenario we're using for this series is Chariot of the Gods, the first cinematic scenario written by Andrew E.C. Gasker in the 26th Draconis arc, and it's this scenario that comes with the Alien starter set. So, I would ask folks who are watching, if you've run it, great. If you played on it, even better, but just keep those sort of spoilers or anything like that to yourself. Don't put them in the chat because, well, if you're going to do that, then I'm going to have to call the 2 xenomorphs that are currently patrolling our ship and just come and deal with that, because, well, you don't want that, do you? Nobody wants that, but you do have my sympathies. Now, on to our wonderful, wonderful cast. We're going to go around and our introductions clockwise, if that's all right. So I'm going to first pass over to Arnica, who's going to tell us her name, pronouns, what character she's playing, and of course, our icebreaker question. Yes, I've 5 weeks in a row I've got icebreakers. So the icebreaker this week for my crew is: if you were working on a ship that had access to a holodeck, what program would be your most played program? I'm going to pass it over to Arnica.
Hi, everyone. I'm Arnica. I'm playing Pilot Leah Davis. Still 5 episodes into Deep Space, still the same character. Both of us use she, her pronouns. And the answer to this is so easy because it's the same answer anytime. It's Minecraft. Just put me in Minecraft and I'm going to run around in peaceful mode. You don't understand. I like to throw a whole bunch of mods in my Minecraft so that it throws up a bunch of abandoned buildings and all sorts of stuff. And I just run around the last human left on Earth. And all of this is mine. And I just claim a whole bunch of different things. This is mine, and that's mine, and that's mine. Look.
I love that. That's so wholesome, Arnica.
I know. It really is.
Thank you very much.
Hello, that comes to me. I am Reina. My pronouns are she, they. I am playing Wilson, whose pronouns are they, them, the company agent embedded with the crew of the former Montero. May it rest in peace. Right, yeah. Bring it on.
Wow.
Too soon, right. And I will be answering this question thinking... I think so. The holodeck, I think, is such a cool concept, and so I think my fun answer is I would love a full body holodeck experience for Res. My favorite game on the PlayStation 2, a full experience for synesthetics as well as music lovers and cool visuals. Just being a full body experience of seeing color and music and rhythm all synced up together as a full body gestalt would just be awesome. That or a spa day. would be my two most
Ooh.
used
Yeah,
programs. I
it
think.
switched, depends on how you're feeling. I love that. Such a great
Right.
answer.
Hey friends, it's me, Jessie Darcy. I use she, they pronouns. I'm here playing Kyla Rye, who is the roughneck and bitter shit giver. And she uses she, her pronouns. Usually every week Fiona drops these questions as I'm setting up production and completely derails my train of thought, and it takes me forever to come up with the answer. This week was easy. This is my most watched YouTube videos are like heavy rain on ground to sleep.
Mhm.
Done. I'm asleep. Imagine having that in a hollow. Like you can be on a mountain in the Lake District, pouring rain in the forest above you, little campfire. Done. I'm zonked. That would be so beautiful day and night. I would probably never leave.
I love that. Yeah, there'd be like people knocking on the door going, "Hey,
Mhm.
hey, Darcy,
Nope. You can
time
come
up."
in and join me, or you can fuck off. Nope.
That is fair. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Maddie. My pronouns are she, her, as are my characters, Lauren Cham. She is the cargo handler aboard the former Montero. And my answer to the holodeck question would have to be there were so many possibilities running through my head, but like the one that just stuck and the one that I'm going to stick with for now is basically Assassin's Creed 2.
Such a good game.
Because just like running around Florence would be incredible, especially like Renaissance Florence. Just like the experience of being in a different time period and also have the fantasy of having upper body strength would be great.
Oh, so I laugh because it's funny, but also incredibly true. Thank you. Thank you, Maddie.
And then that's me. Hi, I'm Ida. My pronouns are she and her. I am playing Captain Miller, who is the officer of the former Montero and of the Montero crew. She's had a bad day so far. I think everyone else has, but Miller in particular has had a bad day. As for me, if I had access to a holodeck, what good things I would do with it. So, because you can do anything in a holodeck and include your body in it. My fantasy would be like to upload all the goat anime girl transformation sequences. Thus, I can be in the transformation sequence. We have all the Sailor Moon planets uploaded. We have Cardcaptor Sakura uploaded. We have like Madoka Magica uploaded, and I just get to like do the poses, fly through the air, have magic, and have these like ridiculous pink bow fiery things like appear on me, and I just like shuffle through them.
I love that. Yeah, shuffles Cardcaptor Sakura.
Yeah.
Beautiful. I'll answer this one as well because I always keep forgetting because I'm like, these answers are really good. I don't have anything for this. I'm gonna be really boring. Everyone else has got really good answers, but I would open it up onto every year in London there is what's it called now? It's not called Crufts, but essentially it's a dog expo where you can go and pet dogs, but it's all different kinds of breeds, and it's just massive in one of the expo halls. So yeah, I think I'll just go there, but the dogs can run free and I'll just be in the middle and just be like, come to me, dogs, and then be surrounded by like a herd of corgis and just be like, now we ride, and just back and forth between the hall, but everyone's happy and safe. So yeah, a room full of dogs. That's my dream, guys. Brilliant. Thank you so much. Wonderful crew. Before we dive right back into our recap, let me just quickly talk about the game mechanics that you're going to see coming up in this game. So, when one of our beautiful crew wants to do something where there's a tiny little bit of risk, I'm going to ask them to describe what they're doing and then ask them for a role that combines one of their attributes and a related skill. By adding the levels in that attributed skill together, we'll create a dice pool of d6s, known as base dice. And then they just roll it, and in most situations, as long as they roll 1 6, they succeed at the task in the task in question. Really simple, straightforward. They've done it loads of times. It's a piece of cake. Except life on the cutting edge of space is pretty brutal. And this is where the stress mechanic comes in. So when they make skill rolls, characters will also have to add a number of d6s which relates to their stress level into their pool. So if they have a current stress level of, 2, then they add an extra 2 dice, usually a different color, but just usually a way to differentiate themselves from the base dice. And it's great because that means they can roll more dice. It's always good. Except if they roll a 1 on one or more of their stress dice, well, the character risks panicking and, well, things tend to go south when they panic. Like, I don't know, the ship doesn't go away far enough and then damages the ship they're currently on. Just saying. So naturally, the more stressed the character is, the more chance they have at succeeding at difficult tasks. But there's also the more chance that they're going to fail with very bad consequences. Now, they've done it a little bit, and I like teasing them with this, but there is a mechanic where the characters can push their rolls, basically grabbing any dice that doesn't show a success and re-rolling them. But this mechanic is not without risk, because pushing a roll increases a character's stress level, and they must include the new stress dice in their roll. They can only push a skill roll once, unless they have a talent that says otherwise, and they can push any skill roll except any roll that already contains a 1 on the stress dice or a death roll. The final bit I want to mention is one of the more unique parts about Alien, and that is the personal agendas. Now, in most cinematic scenarios, we split them into 3 acts. We're currently, I think, we're in the middle of Act 2. That's it. We've progressed. We're rocketing through, which is excellent. And when they get to the end of each act, I will check and sort of assess how each of our characters are doing with their personal agendas. Now, obviously, they don't have to carry out the personal agendas I've given them. They're all secret. But if they do follow them, at the end of each act, I will award them with a story point, which some of them have been using, which is very exciting to see. And that gives them 1 automatic success on a dice roll. Finally, and I've cleared this with the cast, but just so the audience is aware, this is a dangerous game because we do have a traitor amongst us. One of our characters isn't who they say they are. They are a secret android working towards a completely different agenda. Their goal is to mimic the person that they've replaced in our story and continue on with their secret agenda and hopefully finish it before the other players find out. Only the traitor and I know who they are, and should they get revealed, their game mechanics will actually change. But we'll get to that should it appear. It's been 5 episodes, and I don't know if anyone knows who the android is, which is very, very exciting. So, that's all the admin out the way off the top of the episode. Are folks ready for our 5th installment? Captain is. I love it. You're just pointing to me on the Zoom screen, so I'm like, yes, it is me.
Oh, on the Twitch screen, it's someone else.
I thought so. Anyway, with all that out of the way, let's go into our 5th installment of Alien. So previously on Alien, Chariot of the Gods, the crew of the US CSS Montero has been brought out of hypersleep after intercepting a garbled distress signal from the US CSS Kronos, a Helios class spacecraft which has been missing for 3/4 of a century. Upon discovering the Kronos drifting in the vast void of space and operating on minimal power, the crew's mission changed from one of delivering cargo to one of salvage, with new priorities to bring back the Kronos, any surviving crew, and importantly, any scientific data to Anchor Point or another Weyland-Yutani facility. The team boarded the Kronos and quickly set about finding out what happened to the ship. After bringing the main systems back online and cleaning and repairing the air ventilation, the team noticed that extensive repairs would be required in order for the Kronos to fly under her own power again. The crew has also met some of the surviving crew members of the Kronos after deactivating the cryo chambers. The survivors consist of the ship's XO Johns, Sergeant Reed, at the time, Doctors Cooper and Flynn, and of course company rep Clayton. After a tense exchange between the crews, it was revealed that the Kronos had been on a scientific, archaeological, in quotation marks, mission on a rock planet called LV 1113 to explore some ancient ruins. The Kronos science team had collected some important artifacts which were being studied in the med lab and science labs, some of which Davis had already stumbled upon earlier. A mutiny had occurred, and the Kronos had suddenly left planet-size, stranding half of its crew and ejecting even, its science module. Inadvertently, it seems that some of the crew had been infected with some sort of airborne dust motes, which had been produced by these extracted sort of mold-like egg sacs that had been brought aboard the ship. Anyone who was infected had given birth to these strange, aggressive life forms that had started hunting down and killing off other members of the crew. Amongst the confusion, the captain and ship's android Ava were the ones left in charge of piloting the ship, whilst the other crew members were forced back into hypersleep for their own protection, sealed off from the rest of the ship. But this was not before the doctors on the science team, Cooper and Flynn, had come up with a cure that would neutralize the neomorphic growth that grew inside each of the individuals. They inoculated everyone present within the cryochambers before entering hypersleep. Upon waking, however, Dr. Cooper complained of headaches, and as both crews locked on in horror, a terrifying four-legged creature the size of a large rabbit, with translucent skin and spiky limbs, tore its way out of Cooper's head and scampered off into the bowels of the Kronos. The Montero team enforced quarantine protocols on the crew, much to the protest of Clayton. Johns showed shock and confusion as he believed everyone had been inoculated and the vaccine was 100% safe, according to the scientists. Yet, a cursory look of Cooper's pockets revealed a still full vaccine, sealed and unused. Cooper, it would seem, did not take his own prescribed medicine. After quarantining the Kronos' crew to their quarters, Captain Miller and Wilson went off in search of the armory, with Wilson pocketing the still unused vaccine in their pocket. The armory itself was stripped bare by the odd reload and one storm rifle. On one of the walls, there was almost dried milky white substance and scratch marks. It would seem that the missing android Ava had been in some sort of fight with one of these creatures aboard. Still, no body, human or android, was to be seen here. Meanwhile, after some, I'd say, very minor air supply worries, Cham, Davis, and Rye caught snatches of a distant, echoey singing coming from Deck B's mess hall. Believing it to be Ava, the team slowly approached the hall, ready to strike and take out the android threat. However, our crew was interrupted by an urgent message from the ship's mother, indicating that the Montero's displacement drive had malfunctioned, and as a result, her fission reactor would overload in 10 minutes. Thus began what I like to call an intense science fiction montage, with Captain Miller and Rye rushing back to the Montero to override the overload, whilst Cham and Davis headed to Deck D, ready the cargo deck for emergency measures. Wilson, on the other hand, calmly took a secret intercom call from Clayton, who made claims that she could get them out of a sticky situation and into the company's good books. Wilson merely had to help her retrieve some important data and items from storage. Whilst Rye managed to unclamp the Montero's umbilical passageway with minimal decompression damage to the Kronos, Captain Miller discovered that she was locked out of the override procedure. Whether that indicated the shutdown had been authorized remotely, some sort of special code, special order 966. There would be no way to prevent the reactor from reaching unsafe temperatures, and therefore the destruction of the Montero could not be stopped. Realizing their only chance was to board the Kronos and get as far away as possible before the Montero detonates, Captain Miller attempted to put the Montero on autopilot before rushing to join Rye in the cargo lifter Daisy to fly back to the Kronos, leaving the power loader and Rye's motion tracker behind. With some incredibly good rolls, everyone managed to make it inside and shut the whole door before the Montero blew up, with their whole order of 72 gas tanks going up in flames. The explosion rocked the Kronos, damaging several compartments on each level, including the mother's mainframe and the Medipod section of the med labs. But now we return back to the cargo deck, Deck D, where the majority of our crew are sitting or lying in stunned silence, breathing heavily, bodies pumping with adrenaline and the sound of their own heartbeat within their ears. I need everyone who's in the cargo bay, which I believe is everyone but Wilson, to make for me air supply checks.
Please roll good. Please roll good. No ones.
Good.
All twos, but no ones.
Cool.
No ones.
I'm good as well.
No ones.
Oh, rubbish. Okay.
You'll get
You
your fun, don't worry.
I know, but you're sort of panicking a little bit. You know, I think it's that silence after what has been incredible. So you're like blinded as the door slowly shut, and you just saw the sort of quick sort of after effect of this explosion. And so you're all there. We had obviously Captain Miller And I can't remember who else was screaming, but two people screamed, which was great. That was it, right? Screaming in devastation of the loss of their ship. And now sort of the echoes of that scream and this sort of give way to this, to this silence. What would our team in the cargo bay like to do?
I think Miller had that strange rifle she picked up.
Yes, the storm rifle.
Storm rifle. I think with shaking hands, she's like immediately, for the first time, looking into it, popping open the chamber, seeing how many rounds are in there.
2 rounds.
She's charging.
Mm-hmm.
Wayland Yutani did this. A corpo did this.
What?
Order 966.
What are you talking about?
I was locked out. There was nothing I could do. The Montero was set to self-destruct.
That doesn't make any sense. Why would Wayland do that?
It's a company asset, isn't it?
Yeah. Look, I know it was stressful. You could have just, you're not great with passwords. You sure you just didn't?
This was beyond our doing.
Yeah, Davis is on the floor, like in the corner where I got thrown trying to get out of the way of Daisy, and I'm just sitting there laughing semi-hysterically. I'm like, there's no password you can put in bad enough that it will say, oh, by the way, someone told your ship to explode.
I just mean if she was trying to get in to undo it, she might have. It was really stressful. We were running and the lights are flashing and the noise of the siren, and it was the Montero. I just don't see how anybody would. Why would anybody do that on purpose?
Oh, I don't know. Maybe because one of us was an asshole and absolutely planned to junk this piece of shit so hard that we couldn't even tow it back.
But why?
Like me. Fuck this piece of garbage. It's full of mold, and you may not have noticed this, but apparently it's full of some bigger, weirder shit too. I was gonna get rid of the piece of shit, be like, oh, sorry, couldn't do it. Tried my hardest.
And now we have to.
And now we don't have a choice.
I think that's a long way to go to ensure that something that we were gonna. You could have had your debates, you could have had your objections, but we were gonna do it anyway because that's how we were gonna get paid. I just think that's a long way to go. I think that would be a lot. I don't know if I buy it. I'm not calling you a liar. I'm just saying.
There was no way to delay it.
I know.
There was no safety net. If we hadn't gotten back in time, it would have blown right next to the Kronos, potentially damaging the Kronos.
Well, exactly. That doesn't sound
Little
like what was the
regard
plan.
for any of us there either. If we didn't have a plan to get back, it would have been a one-way trip.
So if they did it to force us onto the Kronos, why would they have done it where they could have damaged the Kronos? I just think you're angry, and understandably so. I get it. That was your ship. That was our ship. The bucket of. No
I
offense,
know
Davis. It wasn't
what
the
it told
greatest.
me. A remote order was put in that I could not override as ranking officer.
All right. It's done now. It's done, and this heap of shit. It's all we've got left. So, if we want to get anything out of this, any credits, any hope of salvation, what do we need to do? We need to fix it up. We need to make sure that what happened to that doctor isn't going to happen to any of us.
We need to get rid of the monsters.
Right.
All of the monsters.
All right, Captain. Tell us what to do.
Don't fucking trust corpos. And I start walking around just to like pace and like Try to calm myself, try to get my breathing steady.
Mhm. Yeah, the loss, it's hard, Miller. You think how much work you put in day out just to make that heap of junk fly, but it was your heap of junk, you know?
It was for this.
I mean, you watered down the coffee. Like, you wouldn't just do that for anything. All that watered down coffee, wasted.
Miller accepted being a cog because even little cogs move other cogs. Even big cogs have to rely on little ones in the greater machine. But there's one thing Miller forgot that big cogs are especially good at: crushing, destroying anything that gets into their teeth.
Indeed. What's the
She
rest?
she's staring at the patch on her arm, like glaring at it. Like now it's a vendetta.
Ooh, interesting. Anything else happening with the rest of the team? Obviously, you can see Miller pacing back up and down. Is trying to think of what the next move is. What anyone else in the vehicle bay doing anything?
I think Cham will sort of quietly pipe up and say, I think if we're really stuck here and there's no way of getting back, otherwise I might have a way to fix up the piloting column a bit faster, using parts from the other one. So if that would be helpful, I could work on that. But I mean, maybe the more pressing thing is the androids and the monsters that are gonna eat us. So I'm open to suggestions.
It's a good idea, Cham. I look around like, oh, fuck. Oh, fuck, of course Wilson is on their own now. Doing God knows what.
Maybe they're off being space tiger bait. I'm just gonna walk over to Miller and just put one hand on her shoulder and just try and look her in the eye and just, you alright? You're gonna be alright.
I'll be alright because of that thing you just said. Wilson as space tiger bait?
I have my moment. I have my plans. But hey, listen. You're better off here. What you said before. You're better off here with us. I don't think otherwise, alright? Just give her a tiny squeeze and just back off.
And I mean, the Montero meant a lot to you, meant a lot to us, but we're all still here. And that's the important thing.
It wasn't about the ship. It was about what the ship could do for us. It was about the opportunities it could bring. All the awful shit we went through. How you all laughed at me when I said we should treat coffee like tea. If you can dunk tea, why can't you dunk a bag of coffee and reuse that bag? No.
That's got nothing to do with the ship, and that's got nothing to do with corpos. I wonder what the coffee's like on this place, actually.
It could have opened up so many more things, and everything we suffered for, now it's for nothing.
No, it's not. It doesn't have to be. We can get this done, we can get paid. And then we can start over, we can find a new ship, you can work for a different corpo, work for no corpo.
Find a different ship. I stamped my foot. Seems like a good ship.
It's not a good ship, though, is it?
Because of the monsters on board.
And the fungus, and the lack of a steering column, and
the engines don't work.
The engines don't work, and the old crew that are still on board. It needs a lot of work doing to it. I'm not sure it's worth it. I'm saying let's just get it back to where we need it to be. We get our nice paycheck, and then we can go shopping for something new, something sleek with nice upholstery.
All right. Cham, do what you can about that flight column. Rye, there was a beacon ultimately that signaled our ship down. Maybe there's someone else in the neighborhood. There's someone we can reach out for extra help or assistance here.
All right.
Maybe we can get a tow for once.
I can look into it.
Davis, are you ready to work a miracle?
Nah, but we'll figure it out. This is fucking. Yeah, no, yeah, sure, why not? Loaves and fishes, let's do this shit. Sure, let's go.
Excellent. So as you do your sort of Montero go moment, let's shift up a couple of decks. Let's go and see what our wonderful company agent. So company agent Wilson, you you will have heard, or you would have felt even, an explosion. You definitely were rocked side to side, but it would have been at the end of your call with Clayton. So currently, I believe you are in Junction B1, in sort of the instead of tunnel. You looking above, you can see that you can get up to the next deck, but above that, where you initially came in, it's been completely sealed off because when the umbilical detached, it decompressurized and Mother shut it off. What would you like to do?
So there's like a bulkhead is just locked up.
Yeah, but on deck A, essentially, basically you can't get out that way anymore, which makes sense because there's no door, there's no external airlock door anymore because you kindly got rid of it in episode 1.
No way out but forward. They start climbing, like using the handholds kind of on the sides of the walls, pushing forward, making their way down towards deck C, which I believe is where the materials are.
Correct. Yes. So yes, you come down to deck C. You come down the stairwell. And you sort of junction C1, and yeah, and you know, she's Clayton was talking about storage, which is sort of there on your little map that you sort of got the blueprints for before. And it's interesting, yeah, because you would have had this as well, that the Montero basically there's a little severed connection. It's a bit staticky before it sort of reroutes. All of you would have reroute to the Kronos, which is showing basically lots of notifications going error, as various things are decompressed and had damage and stuff. But yes. So what would you like to do, Wilson?
Gonna start working my way along the corridor there down towards the storage containers.
Which side would you like to go to?
Let's take the right.
Oh, let's indeed take the right. Storage. Excellent. So on the right, again, these are sort of like almost like not lockers, but it's like a sort of like roller doors essentially. You sort of look, you can see that there's like some hand things up, and you do the first one, I would say. It goes up. And you notice in this locker there are big sort of, I mean, I'd call it a bucket, but they're called drums in this one. Sort of like a round, sort of like about a gallon or so, decent sort of size, sealed sort of shapes, sort of containers essentially. All sort of about 7 of them stacked around on sort of a shelving thing. And you get instantly the smell of chemicals, a very strong smell of almost like accelerant, inflammatory stuff. You see there's a label on it that I definitely practiced 2 weeks ago, and you didn't come here, so now I'm going to have to go and try it again, but I believe it's quinitracetylene, essentially. You wouldn't know exactly what it is, but the smell indicates that it is some sort of accelerant and is flammable. And there's 7 drums of it here. About, you think you can carry 1 or 2.
And I assume it comes with the standard, like, bolted on sign that has the little explosion sign or something that says
all in like all in sort of like not emoji speak, but sort of symbol speak, like
right,
hands, burn, and then like person on fire.
IKEA instructions, right?
Yeah, exactly. Even in space, IKEA, the universal language of Alien. Yes.
Just there's a shot of Wilson just like taking that in, like cuts back to them with like a raised eyebrow. And then the shot just hangs on the raised eyebrow as they tap the button and slide the door shut on their face.
I like that maybe you have a
Not
back and
that
forth,
one.
maybe back and forth camera moment where your eyebrows are, and it just goes to one of the buckets and it's back and forth even closer and closer.
Right, like don't like that. Moving on.
Okay.
I'm just gonna keep working my way through the lockers until we get to the end.
Absolutely. So I will say, because obviously downstairs they're sort of taking their time. You managed to get through quite a few of them. The ones next to it on the right, is almost like replacement tools. Essentially, you can see that there is another cutting torch, a maintenance jack, and also 2 bolt guns, which I can't remember which one of the team has it, but essentially, there we go. And these bolt guns, that the one that Davis has, it's essentially to reinforce the hull. It is a tool, but it can be an improvised weapon. Very, very painful, essentially.
Right, it's like a nail gun, right? Like
but the nails are like thick. Like, it's pretty brutal. Yes.
Wilson 100% is going to strap one of those onto their suit.
You look at your trusty cutting torch and you go, "It's been fun, friend.
This is not gonna work."
Don't be jealous. So are you just taking one? Or are you taking both?
I think just the one.
Mm-hmm.
Because Wilson's worried about being weighed down.
Makes sense.
Probably.
I mean, you've seen how Davis has held up by just completely weaponized. So you're thinking, that's not for me. That's like Davis.
I'm gonna move. Right. I can move faster. Right.
Absolutely. And then eventually you come to the final couple on the left, and you instantly see that one of these ones, although it has a push to it, you can see that there is a code that needs to be put in. Now, I can't remember if last episode she did give you a code, but I'm going to just say for ease, she did. So you don't have to traipse all the way down to that intercom and go, "Hey, what's the code?
Right.
Hey, I'm here. What now? Where are you?" Yeah. So yes, she would have given you a code, which you sort of look around, you start to put it in, and the door slowly shutters its way up, and you can see instantly it's like, mission objective here, because similar to the other storage shelving and stuff, they had it looked very uniform and the same. You open it up, it is full, absolutely brimming full. About a dozen or so of those weird urns that we saw in the Medilab, essentially. And as you sort of maybe don't get too close, but you look in them, there's ones that are open, and you can see inside there is almost like these very beautiful glass, ornate, like clear, ornate sort of vials with an interesting black liquid that seems to be settled just now. But it's, as you open it, there's almost like as the air around sort of depressurizes, and you have a dozen of these urns.
And are they big, like canopic jar sized, or
They are, yes, I think so.
Zelda pot?
Yeah, they're not. You're not having to be running up and down. No, they're definitely. It would take more than one go, if you see what I mean, to if you were going to take it somewhere, if you were going to go up a different level. So I'd say you could probably carry about 3 safely, 4 at a push. I don't wish to speak for you, but the urns themselves look quite sturdy. You don't put your hand out or anything like that, but you can definitely sense an air of cold exuberating from this storage unit. And yeah, it's very silent, looking at all these urns, looking back at you. So.
Right. And the to clarify, the vials are in the urns?
Yes,
Okay.
essentially. How best to put it? The urns themselves, they look like vases essentially, but you can see there are places where it would open, almost like petals of a flower, and inside is almost like a holder essentially that you would put them in. So I mean, you would from I think. I don't know if David's actually said anything to you, but yeah, essentially that's what it looks like. It looks like a holder that you'd be able to carry with these things in. But you could easily take the vials out without the urn for sure.
Oh, so it's like been carved to hold the vials.
Yeah.
Almost. Okay.
Almost. Yeah.
I was unsure if it was like someone had bolted that apparatus into it or something.
No. All of this stuff, when you look at it, it looks almost not organic. It just seems beautifully engineered. Any sort of seam or any sort of craft work, or as I was going to say, gluing, you can't see any of that. It's all sort of hidden if it is put together in such a way. So, yeah.
Yeah, I think there's like, because we've been talking about this, there's like a 2 minute, not a 2 minute, a minute long sequence of like just Wilson in the cold room, the silence of the room, and like just those Jerry Goldsmith strings, like the little theme, the alien theme, as they're like looking at the urn. We really zoom in on like the art, the alien craftsmanship, and like the artistry of this stuff.
Yeah, your light from your headlights sort of going over them all,
just
yeah.
illuminating everything, and just really hanging on every detail to like be like, what, give the audience time to be like, what is this?
Yeah.
Right. Is there a bag or anything around here?
I would say from the previous, like going through the other things, there's definitely like a bag or I don't want to say a box or a toolbox, but yeah, there'll be some ways to carry stuff or put stuff in. Absolutely.
Yeah, I think what Wilson's doing is looking for like a rucksack or something.
Yeah,
It's like a heavy canvas sack or something, and they're just stuffing a couple of as many as reasonably can be carried, like 2. You said I can carry 3 or whatever.
Yeah.
Arms.
So I know this is very technical, guys, because we're discussing how to carry things. So are you putting the full urns in the backpack, or are you taking things out and putting them without the urns?
I think Wilson is taking the urns with the vials
in them,
still
yes.
in, rather than risking disturbing the urns themselves.
Sure, that makes sense. Yeah, I think easily you could put in 2.
Yeah,
you could put one on its side to fit in the top of the rucksack, because it's really awkward, that little top space bit. So you could always put it on its side. You think you could get it over? Be very packed.
Just really load it to the brim.
Saves you a trip.
It does. Well, if there's only 3 of them, right, then like obviously we're just gonna put them all in here as best as one reasonably can, because my order is to bring back all xenomorphic materials. So
absolutely. All right, I am going to ask you. Let's do an agility mobility check, Wilson.
I'd love that.
Yeah. See how gentle it is. So that's your agility and mobility plus any stress you have.
I'd like to push.
What have you got so far?
0 on everything.
Oh, you may push, so increase your stress level, please.
Yep. Just very carefully, delicately, like there's like that kind of like when you're carrying too much stuff, or like you're carrying a mug with a claw grip or something for some reason, and it just like starts to slip, and you're like, eh.
That's how I always carry my cups of tea. I'll be honest. Like, no.
This is delicious. Is this the right number of dice? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yes. Okay, that's the stress dice. Still 0 successes.
Whoa. All right, so you don't succeed, but you don't fail, but you have to move the story forward. So yeah, you get 1, 2 in, and as you're struggling with the sort of thing, you hear off to the side just a noise, a slight sort of like not like a footstep or anything like that, but definitely as if someone had bashed something, like had kicked something. And you look, and on sort of towards this sort of side, towards where you'd originally come in, on the right hand side, a cylinder, not one of the not one of the chemicals, because you shut the door, rolls out and hits the thing. So you think you're not alone.
Just a little tumbler of something, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
You're right. So I think that's the kind of like, I catch it and then put it in the bag, and then as soon as the bat, like they're like pulling the bag on, there's that other bump, which is the
Yeah.
second like jump. I think Wilson like instinctively like draws the bolt gun that they've just strapped to their leg and like turns, taps off the headlight, and leans into the corridor.
All right, make for me a wits observation. I'm going to do some stealthing.
I'd love to.
Which is very exciting.
It's 5 dice plus my stress. We're doing great today. 0 successes and 0 panic. This is where it all falls apart. I'm here for it.
So wait.
We're in Act 2, right? Yeah, no, I'm sure. I'm sure Miller will be really sad about whatever's about to happen.
So yeah, so you can't, with the light off, it's very hard to see anything in this corridor. You listen. You don't hear anything else. What do you do?
Something's out there, obviously. So Wilson takes like a very slow step into the corridor. Like has the rucksack on, and is like has some training, right? I have a point in ranged combat, so like they know how to use a pistol, and assume that the rules translate to a bolt gun, right? So they're using like a standard. It's very much like, I've been to the range a bunch of times. I know to keep my finger off the safety until I'm ready to fire. I don't want to point at anything unless I want it to die, kind of thing. Like slowly, like walking through the corridor, like looking around, and like with one hand like feeling for the wall, because they're looking like off to the sides, like what's going over here. I want to like, okay, there's the wall, and now I'm going to take that and I'm going to turn my body and I'm going to walk down the corridor until I get to the ladder, etc., right?
As you put your hand on the wall, you feel that it's quite sticky and it's sort of moist, and you're like, and then you suddenly feel on your shoulder like a wetness, moist, quite warm, as you hear something above you. So we're going to do a mini combat.
Yeah. I love it.
Roll a d10.
We're in there. I have a 9.
You have an 8. All right.
Eat the rich. Eat the rich. Eat the rich.
So just to for people watching at home, because I know I'm to break the fourth wall a little bit. So now we're doing combat. So normally you pull from a deck of a numbered deck, which goes from 1 to 10. 1 going first, 10 going last. These creatures, it's not saying there's a creature. They might go faster, and in this case, it does. Captain Miller, I think it's only fair. Can you roll me a d6 for me and tell me what you get?
I'm going to roll one of my stress die because it's stressful for someone. I rolled a 6. I was rolling pretty bad last session too.
Delicious. I, as a player, I'm all in
I
on
know.
this. You know,
I don't know
like,
what the 6 means. Maybe 1 was the bad one.
So as you look up, Wilson, your eyes quickly adjust to this darkness that is above you, something large, crab-like, holding itself almost silently had come above you. You're sort of like, you reach for your gun, and suddenly there's as a sharp pain in your chest comes, as a tail goes straight through your chest. I gotta roll an attack first before you do. If any succeed, it's armor piercing, so it will go through your EVA suit. It will automatically trigger critical injury 6/6, which will kill the victim outright if I hit. And I'll tell you, I'm rolling 7 damage. 7 dice, sorry.
Oh shit.
Bring it on.
It goes straight through you. Is there anything you'd like to do in this moment, Wilson? As this tail goes through you. Oh.
Just like right through it. Yeah. So I think let's cinema this up, right? So the headlamp is off, right? It's a wide shot of just the emptiness of the hallway. And the darkness, right? There's only the dim lighting. I think maybe some emergency lights came on because of the
very low
shock.
Yeah.
So there's just this thrumming red light illuminating everything, like a heartbeat, like a low pulse, like a right? There's nothing, right? There were the strings while we were looking at the jars, and now it's just dead silence because like we're building the tension. Wilson's walking forward with the bolt gun, reaching out, looking around, and then there's like the off-camera Foley is the like squelch of something against the glove.
Yeah.
And the camera like pans from a close-up of their face as they're looking in one direction to like disgust as they like turn, and as they're turning halfway it becomes like fear, because like that's not normal. So they see the goo, and then as the camera's hanging on this, like I'm looking at the wall, the focus shifts from the face to the shoulder, and then it's drip this like goop, right?
Yeah, horrible.
And then there's that the camera shift, the focus shifts again, like from the foreground to the background to their face, as there's that moment of realization of something's above me, right? Looking up, and as they start to look up, it's pizzicato strings. It's the like classic horror, like something is about to like get you, as the camera looks up, and it's just in that thrumming red pulsing light, just the thwum, thwum. I think there's like a hum.
There is 100%. Yeah.
Thwum, sound as the crab thing like unfolds, right? Because this is our first time really seeing this thing on camera.
Yeah. And it's weird the way it's almost like unfolds itself.
Horrible, unnatural alien geometry and anatomy, right? Whoom, whoom, it like unfurls. It's like the prop has been dipped in like 6 buckets of Vaseline. And like it cuts down to Wilson's face, just looking up at it as drip, like whatever ichor it has coming off of its body, just hits the bubble helm and drips down. And then there's that like, just it's in every alien movie, this like foomp, like speed sound effect of impact, like when a face hugger jumps at someone, and just the like a horrible squelch, and as it like the camera cuts back, and it's like in silhouette, the thing as it's like fallen with the spine tendril like coming through their body, so it's all you see is the black outline of Wilson's body as this thing is coming, like has pierced through them, and they just sink to their knees. And then I think that's like the last thing we see in that scene is just like thump.
The last thing, Wilson, you see is this thing obviously uncurling itself from the ceiling, and as obviously in front of you this horrible spike with covered in your own fluids, and you can feel the blood starting to pulse out of you as you sort of look up, and it's almost sort of crescents down, looking at you upside down. One would say almost like a Spider-Man kiss type thing. And then I would say, yes, what happens next? Your body, you sort of dragged out a shot whilst leaving. It was cut through the backpack with the urns and stuff.
Oh, you know what I think it is? It's like as the body slumps,
Mhm.
their head hits the floor, the bubble helm cracks, right?
Mhm.
Their eyes are just like locked open, rigor mortis.
Mhm.
Red blood spattered on the inside of the bubble helm, and their hand is like kind of, one of their hands is like up in the side of the shot, and one of the urns rolls out of the bag and just rests at the edge of their hands.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Love it. All right. Let's move back. Then we'll sort you out, Raina, in the break.
Yep,
with a
no
new
problem.
character.
I'm just gonna be eating popcorn over here.
Yeah. You've got an easy episode tonight, my friend. Good job. So yeah, so we return to the vehicle bay. What's happening, folks?
While Miller was just like trying to calm herself, was like, the time for getting upset is done. Now's the time to be rational, plan. In this moment where she's like clutching the Wayland Yutani patch on her sleeve, could this be one of her things to reduce her stress?
Absolutely. So I am assuming those people who are just sort of taking a moment in the vehicle bay can reduce their stress level anyway. But if you use your signature item, as Miller's done, you can then reduce it again. I believe it's every session you can use that. So you it's a once use item per session. So yeah, so Miller, you can reduce it by 2. Anyone else would like to do anything else to reduce their stress?
Gosh, I'd love to, but some butthole blew my fucking drugs out the airlock, mother.
Hang on. I believe that was your problem. I did nothing. You
Yeah,
dropped
it's
an
my
item on.
problem now.
You dropped an item on a panic roll. I didn't touch your weapons. I thought.
Yes,
nah,
I know, which is ridiculous. I got like 7 guns. You're like, no,
but I know.
buy drugs.
But I know what's important to you.
I know you know it's important to me. That's why I'm complaining.
I think
Stay stressed.
Fair enough.
I think that while Cham is kind of taking a moment before going up to see what's happening with the pilot station, she takes a silver chain out of one of her many like cargo pant EVA suit pockets, and looks at it. It has it's a beautiful, like weirdly expensive looking silver chain, but on it has like a really cheap plastic token or some kind of novelty item tied onto the chain with like some like a bungee cord or what's it what are those, the like the black strappy things that you yeah I'm completely losing my words.
I don't know either, but I know what you mean. I had one when I was younger.
And it has like a logo for a podunk power loader trading company
Convention. Oh no.
And yeah, it says like Cham power loaders, and she kind of she looks at it, and then she like tears the plastic token off the chain and just like throws it behind, and then stuffs the silver back into her pocket and looks around at the rest of the crew, and just kind of to go into kind of internal monologue for a second. She just kind of thinks these are the most important people right now. Whatever's in the past is not important. These are the people.
Yes, no, absolutely. The pain. Maybe you have a flashback of like better times with you and your power loader, like the beginning of the series where you were dancing in the moonlight, listening to Top Loader. And you went and double parked when you took your thing back and didn't double park and filled up, and then you left it there. Oh, good times. How about yourself, Rye?
I think I'm hanging as close to Miller as I dare without being intrusive, but enough to be a presence, to give her the knowledge that I am there if she wants me. I can see she's taking a moment. I know this is a lot for her. But Rye at this point just wants to fix this. Just wants to get on with finding a solution. And so her stress is high, and I think she's struggling to keep that from her physicality. She's
Sure.
not pacing, but hopping from foot to foot, fidgeting, looking around, very nervous energy, which is probably not helping Miller in the way that she wants it to be. But in her head, she's already thinking through, okay, what do we do? Is it true? Is the corpo betrayed us? She's looking for an angle. She's a tough cookie, and she survived in a really bleak world by not trusting people and by always looking out for number one, with rare exceptions. So right now, she's trying to reconcile those things. How do I bend this situation to benefit me, but also the people that I care about? And is that going to be possible?
Good question. I think you can just, for me, make a straight up wits check without any stress die, because you're taking a moment. You're not under pressure. You're currently safe.
Yeah.
On deck D.
2 successes.
Okay. This seems tough. Like you had that conversation with Wilson. You know that money was to be made through this mission, and there's possibility of getting in good books and stuff like that, but this seems wild. Like, again, I'll leave your own impressions of Wilson to yourself there, Darcy, but I think, like, is even Wilson really, like, remotely set off that I mean, that's like with the thing, that seems ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like,
that's very much her thinking right now. It doesn't stack. It doesn't
add up at all. So you feel very confident that Wilson did not trigger the remote order, and especially because, well, you wouldn't know necessarily, but you know that Miller has been pretty much at Wilson's side pretty much this whole time. You were with Wilson when they cut through the thing. You saw how nervous they were. So unless they managed to do something in like the moments they were out of sight.
Yeah, I think that's definitely her thinking. She doesn't believe it, but she's probably not gonna bring it up again. I'm probably not gonna fight Wilson's corner because I know it's gonna fall on deaf ears. If it becomes an issue later, which out of character, I know it's not, that's a problem that we don't have to deal with anymore.
I mean, you still got, you may be down one agent.
That's
another
true.
one may appear.
That's true, but that one in particular,
yes,
I know I don't have to. I don't have to worry about defending their honor.
Yeah,
because it's splattered all over deck C.
What honor? I don't think that.
But quietly, she definitely believes that Wilson didn't do it, but probably won't fight it. Now, it's just how do we move forward? How do we get the fuck out of this?
Sure. Your loyalty is with Miller, and that you, or at least with the people here.
My loyalty is definitely with me.
Oh, you count as a person here.
Yeah, that's if there's a tiered ranking. Rye definitely puts Rye at the top. Miller's a close second. And the others are there as well.
They're here too.
Yeah.
Captain Miller. I'd say by this point it's been roughly about an hour or so, give or take, as you're sort of coming to, like, within that hour. I don't want to wish to take their action because nothing happens once you're down here. No one comes for you. Wilson doesn't turn up. typical spineless coward. Yeah.
If Chem said that she wanted to go, I think Miller would reinstitute no one walks alone. We don't know what is going on here.
Mhm.
And before we all separate, it's like, this is a little uneven, Davis.
I couldn't unmute. My God, I just spent the last like 2 minutes jabbing my fucking
I
mute
just thought
button.
that was amazing role play, Annika.
I thought,
Stonewall.
You know, so Davis is just, so here's the thing. Davis hears you, but it takes a minute because at this point, I'm now focused on, I'm now counting time in my head. How long has it been since I took my last dose? Oh my God, everything I found on this ship just went out in the airlock. Everything I had on our ship just blew up. And I'm counting down. I'm half listening to you as I go, uh-huh.
so you're going to share that, and I point to random weapons that are not the scalpel on Davis.
This is a whole, no, this ship is enormous. Find your own. Look. And I'm going to look around, like, look for anything that, like a piece of tool or something that may have fallen as the ship came in and be like, look at that piece of rebar. Boom, right for you. Right for Miller.
I'm not
Get
saying
your shit.
everything. I mean, I'm looking at Chan and I'm looking at Rai, and they're not as equipped. I'm not saying we don't have to be perfectly even or level, but this is a bit. They're your friends. You want them to be safe, right?
Of course, y'all gonna get me jump. Y'all are gonna get me jump. Like, okay, do I have, what
So
did
you-
I hand?
So
Chan
just
last
for
time?
clarity, the only things that are in the vehicle bay just now are two all-terrain vehicles that are on their sides, which you conveniently locked down, but everything else got sucked out. So that was all the tools and stuff, papers and all that sort of thing from the back of the room, essentially. So there's no tools currently on
That
this
makes
deck.
it even better as I'm
Yeah.
gesturing around this
Yeah.
completely empty airlock going, look, pick up that shit.
No, you point to the ATV, which is on its side, broken, missing a tire. Like, perfect.
Bust off an axle. So
Davis
fine.
did give me a bolt gun earlier, so I have this at least.
Just
So-
as a player, Cham and Rai have tools that can be used as weapons, but they don't have weapons proper.
I've got a
Davis and Miller both have
flamethrower,
weapons.
Baby. I've got a flamethrower.
Yeah, and the bolt gun, the harpoon, the cutting torch, they're all their primary purpose,
Mhm.
folks, is fixing ships and fixing stuff, but they can also be used as weapons, correct? There's enough. I think you have the only proper weapon, Miller, which is the handgun.
Davis also has a shotgun.
I have a shotgun.
Oh yeah, but sure, but that one Davis picked up herself. Like she was like, mine?
Mine.
Just like my axe.
A cuddly toy. Just going through the
Listen, Davis, why don't you share something with Rai here, and I will, because Cham does have at least the bolt cutter, right?
I've got the bolt gun. Yeah.
You have one nice thing, and Rai has one nice thing. I'd like for everyone to have at least two nice things. Davis can have more than two, but
Well, why is
Rye, you are getting just the dirtiest look as I walk over to you with the shotgun. I'm like,
Don't, baby, don't. I'm not trying to take it from you. Listen, we haven't checked out
Got
this whole ship yet. Maybe there's something
Flamethrower.
else we can find.
good. Then take this raggedy shotgun and give me the good thing when you find it. I can't believe you get a shotgun and a flamethrower.
Captain, I
You're
can't believe
lucky
you've
we're
done this to me.
friends.
I can't believe
Davis,
you've put me in this debt to this woman. How dare you?
thank you, Davis. We're going to get everyone armed to the teeth, but we need something to start with.
I just put that in my character sheet and typoed, but I'm leaving it. I now have a shot fun.
Miller also picked up shotgun rounds, like specifically shotgun rounds. So I will
Mhm.
also slip them over to Rai.
Yeah.
Whoever was going to get the shotgun, I was going to give the rounds to.
Yeah,
Thank
so if Davis has handed over the shotgun and her rounds, you now have two full
Two
reloads.
reloads.
Yeah,
Beautiful.
that's the word. This is like a reverse Secret Santa, by the way. I really love it. Just taking stuff that you want.
Thank
Alright.
you, Davis. Appreciate
Thank
it.
you, Davis.
If I find something nice, you can have it back. Or you can have the nice thing, whatever you want.
We both know I want the nice thing.
No
let's-
one's saying anything otherwise. Let's stick together, get our jobs done. We open into flippers on the intercoms, and fuck, we need to find Wilson before they.
Yeah.
I don't know what the heck they can do.
Just for a point of note for Davis, yes, you did look through the Medilab pretty thoroughly. Can't even say that word.
Mhm.
There are science labs that might also have stuff. You haven't checked those out. Just thought I'd mention that because you would have been close to them with the Medilab. So
That is true. Hold on, let me look at my map right the fudge now.
yeah.
Looking at my map, don't mind me. My captain's not paying attention. It's fine.
And also,
oh.
crew. We did see one of those little fuckers go into the vents. I had an idea. We don't need this whole ship. We just need to get it up and running. Do we have enough time and material to eventually start locking off areas of the ships, even the vent access? That we can sort of quarantine a physical zone where eventually our part is unaffected, or can it be accessed by vents? Because that little fucker, I mean, if that's how they're moving through, and anything else we see with our eyes, at least we have a chance.
So you would know, Captain Miller. Just I think that's a great idea. You would know that computer mother can turn off like almost like deadlock certain areas. But you'd have to do it, probably go up and set up the programming at the center, and you will be aware because, again, as I said earlier, there's been a huge, massive damage happened to her mainframe. So you'd have to go investigate and see what the problem is and if she's able to do that. But that's a cracking idea. I absolutely love that.
Yeah, we should probably go and make sure the operational.
All right. Let's you and I do that. Cham, start working on how to get this hunk of junk moving, and Davis, you know how that's going to happen. So you take care of Cham, please. No one walks alone. I don't know what the fuck is out there.
Where's Wilson?
We're gonna find Wilson on our way up. Fuck.
Alright.
Actually, intercom. Wilson, are you all right? I'm sure you saw what happened. Wilson.
I think there's just like a low hum of
Mhm.
static
Yeah.
at one point.
100%. Yeah, because this is just your party line, isn't it? You're not connected to the Mother
Intercom.
Chronos.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So so just hear that hum.
I'm just staring at Miller as there's no response.
That fucker loved talking. Something's up.
Yeah, they've got the mic turned off because they blew up our fucking ship.
Where were they? Where did they head?
I don't know. This is the one time we left them unattended.
Using Mother schematics, maybe you do a quick scan. All of you looking for the things, so you can pinpoint your life signs. You can pinpoint life signs of the crew that you've met. Wilson's doesn't appear.
I can't believe I lost my motion tracker.
So Wilson has either found a way off this place, which is very unlikely, or has met some kind of space tiger.
And found a way off.
And she probably just turned off the biometrics. Just broke the suit. I don't
Or
fucking hate it here. I fucking hate it here.
No one walks alone. Any reason.
yeah.
team? Are you? What's the plan? I assume not splitting up.
Ship's
Yep.
haunted.
So you all tool up. So are you all going together? Where are you heading? I guess is my question.
What's the if the locations are between the mainframe and also the place to fix at the bridge,
Mhm.
which would be on the way first. We can all go together that
We
way.
hit the bridge first.
Let's
Yeah.
hit the bridge first then.
All right, hitting the bridge first. So,
Are we
you come up-
gonna clear places out? Look for more tools, more weapons, more. Maybe something valuable lying around. Pocket
Yeah.
a little extra. I'm just saying.
I don't want to be metagaming, but also on our way, we are going past storage lockers
Mm-hmm.
towards our destination, and we are
What?
looking for. Yeah.
Oh, what a random happenstance.
Good thing I'm surrounding myself with more bodies. Meta thing.
Android behavior.
Mm-hmm. So yes, so you, I mean, there's no point in hiding from it. Yes, you will be stumbling upon the area where Wilson was attacked. I guess my question was like you would be, I think, because you know that the lifts aren't working per se, that you
Yeah.
would be following back that way. But I
Yeah.
guess your ultimate aim is to get to the bridge, even though I'm sure we'll do a little scene in a second. As you're all going up, let's do another air supply check, please. Slowly ticks
Oh God,
away.
no! I had
Oh,
2 air
radar.
supply and I got 2 1s, so I
Oh,
ran
no.
out of air.
No.
No.
So
No, I
that's-
mean, no, that's a no for Cham. I did great. I have a 6, 2, and a 4.
All
I
right,
rolled
so
all
Cham.
4s.
I'm
That's
clear.
also a
Cham's-
bad number. That's a bad number.
Okay, so it's Cham. Rye, so just checking.
I'm clear. 644.
I'm okay. 444.
Okay, so you start to traipse up. I'll say this is before you meet, you meet the scene with Wilson. But Cham, you're like, you're very aware that the indicator is flashing red at this point. What would you like to do?
Folks, I thought I had more air than this, but looks like I'm in the danger zone.
Shit. How far are we from? I found this suit and it was pretty good. I wonder if there was definitely more of them.
You're quite far away. I'm going to say that you're at
Yeah.
the beginning of the catwalk, essentially. That's on deck C. That's when you've been, because you've not got past Wilson yet.
Shit.
Not until deck B.
So Cham,
Cham needs air now.
you have an option. Basically, every turn or every so often, depending on the role play, I'm going to make you make some rolls, which will obviously damage you because you're suffocating because you're just breathing in recycled air. Or you could just take off your helmet. The air supply is back.
I think Cham would try and stick it out at least a bit before resorting to taking off the helmet, but see how it goes.
See how it goes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Team, I'm thinking we accompany Cham to the nearest until she can get her air replaced ASAP.
You've not seen anywhere that does the replacement air compared
No.
to your ship.
But the nearest EV suit
Yes, which is
that's what I
on
meant.
deck B. Yes.
that has to be. Miller thinks that this should be the direct thing we do now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Fair
it
enough.
should. It should.
I think
All right.
Cham's gonna try and speak as little as possible and try and keep shallow breaths. Whether she's successful or not is to be seen, but that's what she's attempting to do.
Good. Also, speaking of attempting, can you make for me a strength stamina roll?
All right. I'm pretty good at those, luckily. So 5, 6, 7.
You can push rolls now with that you cleared 1 stress at least.
Yeah, and I can also push strength rolls twice because of my ability True Grit.
Big lungs.
Big lungs, is that what it's called?
So that
Those
was
lungs are
based on-
jacked.
She's like, I play the oboe.
I got a 6 and a 1 on my stress dice.
Okay. It's very tough. So that's a panic. Yeah, do a panic for me, please.
Yep.
So roll your a d6 plus your panic
I
level.
got
stress
one.
levels.
I got a 1, and my stress level is 5, so it's 6 total.
You're like, you're going quite a different color, almost like a puce color. You're holding in there. The next time you do this roll, it's going to be a -1 to your thing, but you're barely keeping it together.
Okay.
And I think just because I'm aware of time, we'll take a break there, if that's okay, folks. Thank you. Well, this has been an exciting first part. Take 1 for the alien. Thank you so much for watching. Please take a break, go get a drink, stay hydrated, take your pills, and we'll be back in about 15 minutes or so. Don't have nightmares. We'll see you soon, folks. thumbs up. Hello, everyone. Just like, oh yes, I'm here. Welcome back to Alien, part 2 of our 5th episode. There's been a murder, and I'm so sorry to report on that, but am I? Not really. We return back to the catwalk, or just the beginnings of the catwalk, as we had a choice to make, Cham, who sort of has run out of air currently. Everyone else is doing okay on their air supply, but Cham's EVA suit has run out of air, and currently they are hanging on by a thread, trying not to black out, essentially. And the plan is until you find another suit, you're just not going to take the helmet off. That's what he said. Okie-dokie. So you make your way across the catwalk as probably quickly as you possible, because you want Cham to get upstairs to get to the bridge to get the next EVA suit. And as you turn the corner to the stairwell where the storage is, you all sort of again, I think because you're just sort of getting there quickly with that sort of panic, you all sort of stop as the lights here are quite low, but all of your headlights are still on, and you can see in the light of your head beam, essentially, blood all on the floor. There is a rucksack with a few of these vials. Davis, you would have recognized this instantly as the stuff from the Medilab, and you can see like something has happened. Is some sort of altercation, and the blood sort of leads itself around to the right-hand side where there is an air vent, and the blood sort of goes into the air vent. Something has been dragged up there, and there is glass on the floor as well, as if some sort of helmet has broken or impacted.
Oh shit! Back to back.
Charlie's Angels.
And Miller encourages the group to shuffle towards the blood, back to back, and gets out her storm rifle, like.
Anyone can make for me who wishes to a empathy medical aid check.
Will that really help?
Except for Cham. Cham, I need you to make a strength stamina check with a -1 modifier.
Okay.
Are we rolling this with panic?
Oh, with stress, of course you are.
Then no, thank you.
Okay.
I'm good.
I am rolling. Let's roll some stress die.
I got 2 6s and a 1 on my stress die.
Oh.
One of these stress die. Roll that panic roll for me, please.
Yep. And it's a 6 + 5, so
11. You can't, like, you're struggling so much, and with an 11, you make a choice. You either drop unconscious right now, Cham, or you take your helmet off.
yeah, I think the survival instinct is going to kick in, and yeah, just at the sight of seeing this dead body is like put me into this fight or flight state that is just, it's my hindbrain just taking over, and I'm like, I can't breathe, and I just rip the helmet off.
Yep.
Sorry, I couldn't. Shit.
It's alright. It'll be alright.
Fuck. I'm sorry, Cham. But Game Mother, I rolled 2 successes. No
Great.
ones.
I'm so sorry. What? So successes for you. Davis, did you roll anything? Just checking.
I did not bother rolling.
Perfect. That's fine. You're just like, nope.
Look, I only have empathy. I have no medical aid, and I got like all but 2 of my stress levels checked. Nah.
Whoa. That is
Y'all have me stressed the fuck out.
All right, so we'll come to Miller first before we come to Cham. Miller, looking down, you can tell that it's very fresh, whatever this is. It's clearly blood. You can see the redness shining thing. So it's not like the milky white substance you saw earlier. And as far as you're aware, the only other person that wasn't confined to quarters or anything like that was Wilson. But what was Wilson doing down here?
The fuck was Wilson doing down here?
I know, right?
Shit. Remembering what they saw happened to Cooper.
Mm-hmm.
Immediately look up, look around. What's in the ceiling? Or is there a vent nearby?
There doesn't seem to be vents on the ceiling per se. You can see looking up now, they're all almost like
Great.
yes, not not futuristic ceiling tiles as I was going to say, but
Mhm.
yes, grates where clearly there has been something climbing across, just like big nails essentially going into those sort of holes, like holding on. It seems to have come from the same direction that the blood is now going. So something clearly came out of the air vent, went on the ceiling, dropped down, went back.
Holy shit.
There's definitely such a thing as a space tiger.
Down space tigers. Yeah, that's the fuck are we doing here?
Cham. The air is very cool, actually.
Oh, there
It's
we
you
go.
actually notice there is a difference. You're sort of breathing it in big, deep breaths. We're going to do something called a sickness roll now.
Oh,
I'm going to ask you to roll some dice based on an attribute and skill, and I'm also going to roll some dice. And basically, it's an opposed check. Whoever has more successes wins.
Cool.
Okay, so I'm just double checking because I don't want to do you dirty.
We help
Oh.
Cham, encouraging words
You-
to push back the
You
sickness.
can't help her. You can't help her.
Yeah, you wouldn't want to do us dirty, would you, Fiona?
No, this is Cham's fight, okay? So it's going to be a strength stamina check again
Yep.
against the rating. I'm going to look at what the rating is, so don't roll anything yet. I just want to double check because I don't want to do you dirty.
Mm-hmm. No.
You guys.
Listen, you saw the thing about most evil GM, right? You saw that award. The nominations
Oh,
are open.
no, I
By the way,
didn't.
everybody, the TTRPG GIFs awards. Most evil GM.
Oh.
We have several competitors in this channel.
Absolutely. Excuse me. I'm going to give myself 30 seconds to find it, but I think
It's like 2. I'm sure it's like 2.
I think it's higher.
And do I include my stress with this, or is it just the attributes?
Now here's the thing. I looked online for this and there wasn't a consensus, but I'm assuming because it is a skill check that you do include your stress in it, which could be good or bad depending on how you see this.
Very fair.
Okay, you ready?
Yeah.
I'm rolling 9 dice.
Cool. I'm rolling I'm terrible at mental maths. I'm rolling 7 plus 5.
Ooh.
Oh,
So because I'm a strong and beefy lass. Okay. I got 3 successes, no ones.
Those lungs of steel.
Fiona's just casually still going. God, the poker face.
you breathe in. That's it. In the silence, you were all sort of like looking at the blood, looking at Cham.
Miller's looking up.
You're looking up. You wait there. 30 seconds. A minute. 2 minutes. 3 minutes.
We should,
5 minutes.
we should get moving.
We see a trail of blood, but we don't see Wilson's body.
You don't. I should have said when you see the blood, everyone's stress level goes up.
Fair.
Yeah, that's my bad. I always forget because I just assume you're stressed anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, no sign of Wilson's body.
But we see the rucksack.
You do see the rucksack. You see an urn or a vial. And again, I'm assuming common knowledge just because you've had these conversations, and I don't remember past one game ago. Davis would have said what that is, or pointed out that one of those things was in the lab.
I'll pick it up and just like stick it into a pocket for now. I see these urns. Either the player heard about it, but I don't think Miller, the character, heard anything about these urns.
I will leave it to Davis.
Yeah, so they weren't in an urn when I found them. They were in a Are you sure I found these? I have
Yes.
listed that I have Medipacks. Oh, I had it written down as 6 doses of some vaccine.
Yes, so when you went into that Medilab at the beginning,
oh, that's right. I found them. I just didn't take them. That's why I don't have it.
Yeah,
written
yeah,
down.
no, you know what? It's hilarious that you think you would have them. Like, that's such a mine. Mine.
Look, I will
No,
steal
no.
the stink off shit. I cannot stop myself.
I thought that was brilliant. That made me chuckle. I was like, yeah, it makes sense. So yeah, you obviously you do not have this, but you recognize the urn, and inside that urn that you saw in the Medilab, there was 3 of those sort of glass vials, and there was one that had been broken and didn't have anything in it.
Okay. So yeah, I kind of lean over now that I'm looking a little bit closer at what Miller's doing. I'm a little less obsessed with what all is this. And finally I'm like, that. Yo, there's more of that. Did Wilson get that out of the med bay?
What were they doing in the med bay?
I was trying to score in the med bay. What the fuck was Wilson doing in the med bay?
The shit, Davis.
Look, you knew when you got on my ship. I don't know what to tell you.
It's not important right now.
My fucking ship.
Wilson was stood
not important.
right outside that room, right? Is the door open? Can we see into where Wilson came from?
There's the the storage unit where the stash is. Absolutely. Well, I'm going to ask Raina. Raina, would you have shut the door at all?
Oh, and it would be wide open.
That's what I thought. So yes, so you see the same thing. You see shelves filled with the same urns. Everything. Again, it feels less cool here now because it's sort of escaping a little bit. But yeah, several urns with these things in that storage unit far left, essentially.
Anything else? Rye will go in and start like rifling through the shelves to see if there's anything.
There was at least one more bolt gun, if I recall.
Yes, whoa, I see what's happening here. So what? So, someone's taking notes, I like, but also you're rifling through the urns.
Listen, I have an agenda.
You do?
And I'm playing to it because I want
No.
a story point.
Oh.
I feel like I'm gonna need it if I make it to Act 3.
Just to recall, the blood does not go into the cargo, into the storage.
No, it goes to the vent. So on the deck seat, it's all the way to the right into that air vent, essentially. It doesn't go into a storage hold.
Okay. Miller is going to let the people rifle, but she's going to have her back like against a wall, and just like whoever's not rifling, Miller would encourage them, stand defense with me, get your back on a wall, don't let yourself be open, and mind the ceilings, mind the vents.
Well, let's go.
Mindful of that as she moves through.
Of course. So right, you can make for me a wits observation check as you're looking through.
Sure. Rated those. Oh my fucking fuck. That's a lot. That's a lot of dice. So that's 2 successes on stress dice.
Oh, congratulations.
And 2 panics on the stress dice as well.
No.
Backs on the wall. Weapons out.
Okay, roll a panic check for me. So that's a d6 plus your stress level.
That is 10. I rolled low. My stress is just high as fuck.
Yeah, no, I know. It's great, isn't it? Okay.
There it is. That's the clip for Most Evil GM.
Okay. Cool. So at this point, you're sort of looking through and you're just like, everything's starting to come to you. This was Wilson. You think to yourself, of course, this is what Wilson will do. Like, and you sort of, essentially the condition is freezing because you're just so sort of that you almost drop one of the vials as you're sort of looking through. You catch it. Your stress level goes up,
Cool.
as is everyone else's stress level goes up as well.
You watch me like fumble this thing. It's fine.
Yeah.
I've got it. I'm gonna put that.
And as
back.
you're looking at it, Rye, as well, this beautiful sort of ornate glass like vial, you can see sort of the black goo sort of up and down. It's almost like oil, like balsamic vinegar and water, you know, it's sort of the way it sort of warps around.
Does it
Yeah.
look reminiscent of the shit that came out of Cooper's nose?
Ooh, it does.
Yeah, I'm gonna put that right the fuck back.
I'd say, Raina, at this point, you are free to introduce your character, should you wish to. All right, just letting you know. What are you folks wanting to do?
Keep moving.
Yeah.
So as we're kind of standing there and we're looking around and Rye's in a room full of cold urns and Cham is just breathing in all this dirty air, it occurs to me as Miller lifted that vial and I briefly patted myself down thinking, oh shit, I don't have that on me, do I? No, I wasn't that dumb. I didn't pick that up, but I did pick up something else, and that fucking scientist, everybody except for apparently the guy whose head exploded, took an inoculation. I have like 6 doses of that on me. So I'm gonna pull it out and I'm gonna kind of tap Cham and I'm gonna say, yo, they said that they took vaccinations for this shit. Do you think it's this? Because if it's this, you should probably take this.
Yeah, but were people saying that the guy didn't take it? So maybe.
Yeah, he didn't take it. His fucking head exploded, I guess. So unless you want an exploding fucking head.
Okay, yeah, I was gonna ask if it like maybe he didn't take it because he thought it was dangerous, but like that the head exploding is much more dangerous than whatever a freaking inoculation could do. So yeah. I just grab it and like jam it into my neck.
Well, okay then.
And I'm just kind of looking at you like, damn, bro, I was gonna do it right there for you, but hardcore. I got you, sis.
It's a weird day. Yeah, just gotta do what you gotta do.
Cam, I need you to roll me another strength stamina roll.
Beefy burly Cham.
Yeah. This is Maddie tries to kill her own character time. It's great.
Hold on.
Can't let Raina have all the joy.
Yeah.
There we go.
Okay.
No,
Spread
that's
the love.
popcorn.
God damn it, Aid.
So that's 7 dice on both my on my ability roll and my stress roll. So on my ability roll, got 1 success. On my stress roll, I've got 2 1s and 2 successes. So that's 3 successes total.
Roll for me a panic check, please.
Panic check. That is 10.
Okay. You do this, you sort of, and the inoculation, you feel it going through your veins, a very cool feeling liquid, and your adrenaline is going up. The sudden act of you doing this raises your stress level and everyone else's stress level.
Cool.
Oh my goodness. I am 2 stress boxes away from being full.
What
Now,
happens? What happens? When
Question,
you hit
yeah,
full?
what happens if your stress becomes full?
You're asking hypothetically, right, Arnica?
You need to lie down. There's no condition for it. It just means that when you roll a panic, it gets increasingly worse and it disadvantages you later on.
Oh, okay, that's fine then, because
Yeah,
they don't stress me the fuck out. My box is now full. I have maxed out my stress level.
All right, so yeah, you do that, like, and you're all like, what the fuck, essentially watching this. And the breathing again, you're like, but you all see Cham there, breathing in the air. No change.
Okay. I'm okay just now, but yeah, if I start growing weird long arms or have things bursting out my head, yep, permission to shoot on sight.
So sorry it's come to this, Cham. The second you start feeling bad, we're going to isolate you, all right?
Yeah, I do not. The last thing I want is to put any of you in danger. I'm going to help you as much as I can for as long as I can. But yeah, as soon as anything feels weird, I will tell you and you lock me the fuck up.
I'm so sorry, Cham. It's not what I wanted for you or any of us.
Well, it's not over yet. I'll keep going until things prove otherwise.
Okay. Normally, I'd want to look for Wilson's body because no matter what the fuck, they're a person and they deserve, but it's too dangerous. We'll figure that out later. Fuck. Okay. Let's try to get this hunk of junk flying. So I think depending on where we are, would it be fastest to go to the bridge or to the mother control to start locking down areas?
I mean, you can always split up because the bridge will be above you
Mhm,
just now, and then one more like going up the ladder, you would get to Mother.
Can we access Mother after the explosive decompression?
You
On
can,
deck end?
yes, you can access Mother. It
Okay.
basically it just shut off the airlock bit. It's really good, this technology. It cuts off certain departments rather than like that whole thing. But yes, if Mother had been more damaged than it would, then you would be just drifting in space, and it would have locked off that part of the deck A. But it did not.
Okay. So Davis is starting to get fidgety. She's kind of rocking back and forth as she's, looks and goes, look, if Wilson is gone, we can't get into Mother without pulling someone out of fucking quarantine. We've either got to pull out, we've got to go get John's or their corp. We got to go get someone who has access to Mother. She's not going to let you in, Miller.
Do we know that? Do we know that for sure?
If she wouldn't let you in when she was working, kind of, she's definitely not going to let you in now when half her brain's been rocked and she's still halfway through an update. You don't have the fucking logins. None of us do.
It's true. You normally need a car key, a key card, not a car key.
Mhm.
Beep, beep. And Wilson was the one that let you in because they had a universal key, which unfortunately doesn't seem to be on this corridor.
Oh, so we could try to find this key card.
There could possibly be like you think to I'm just trying to think, what would you know? You know that the captain would probably have access to the key card, probably the SO. There might be spares elsewhere, but you haven't come across any yet. And certainly from the cursory glance that Cham and Davis did of the bridge, there's like she says, scooping quickly to the next level. You would know on ships like this, the command center maybe has like an armrest that you would keep certain things in, but when they were looking up there, they couldn't find anything. They just and I say because they got good rolls on that initial one, didn't find the emergency key card here either.
Okay, so we need to find Clayton. Let's check in on the other people. It's fair to give them an update. They felt that explosion too.
All right.
Look, Miller, I am I am fresh the fuck out of patience. I can't babysit these people up in cryo and put together a ship and watch for something that killed fucking Wilson. And look, man, you got to just drop me and Cham off at the bridge. We've got to get started. We can't. I know no one goes alone, but 2 and 4, 2 and 2. We just gonna have to do 2 and 2. I have to get
Okay.
go up there. I can't. I ain't got it in me, man. I ain't got it in me, sis.
Can we accompany you to the bridge? Because
Yeah. Drop us at the
Okay,
fucking bridge
okay.
and go. But I
save your
gotta get
air.
working.
Save your air. Spend it on work. And then we're gonna get the fuck to sleep and get out of here.
I cannot wait to sleep this off.
I know.
You want to go to sleep when there's things
Ah,
roaming around?
Yes, I want to go to sleep on this thing.
You
Catch
wanna-
me in my ass with my eyes shut.
With this shit roaming around, do you want to die in your sleep? I'd rather die on my feet.
That's the difference between us. You will know the death you died. I will die tired and beautiful. Oh my God, let's not die. What if we don't die? What if we just
That's preferable. That's
don't die?
definitely preferable. Let's go to the
Alright.
bridge.
Alright.
You start work on the piloting column. I'll take a look at sensors, see if I can find this mystery ship or put a call out for somebody else. And then Miller will go down, talk to the others. Okay?
Let's go first to the bridge. Defensive positions. Let's go.
Charlie's
Right.
Angels the whole way.
Up vents. If there's a vent, we're like pause. No sound because we don't have a motion detector. So
Yeah, you slowly but surely make your way, Charlie, as you said, Charlie's Angel style. Probably internally all singing the theme music rather than out loud. Yeah, you make it up to the bridge. So Cham and Davis, you're gonna set to work on fixing piloting station number 2. Is that the plan?
Yep.
Fantastic. Let me have a look in my book. And I'll tell you what you need to do. All right. Because you are, thanks to Cham's good sort of eye and knowledge for these things, one of you is going to have to do, well, I assume probably Cham, but I'm just saying out there, a heavy machinery roll. But you think it's going to take, oh, hang on, wait. I lied, not a heavy machinery roll, a comtech check, because you're cannibalizing parts rather than welding parts together, because it's going to take you less time to do that. Rather than sourcing the materials from lower decks, you can easily just take things over and start. So it'll be a tech roll at a +2. So one of you, either Cham or Davis, can do it, and the other can help. So that will actually be another +1 on top of that. So it'll be a +3 to this roll.
I have no comtech. I'm just gonna let you know that right now, good buddy.
you have some encouraging words.
I'm a great helper, man. Watch me sit right there and I can hand you the fuck out of a welding tool. Look at that. Spanner. Different size spanner.
I have 2 wits, 1 comtech, but a whole bunch of stress, so that's good.
Yeah.
So that would be 4 base dice with the help, and
Yep.
then
A lot of stress.
8 stress. So I think I'm gonna have to roll the 8 stress on a dice roller.
Yeah, that's fine.
Nothing interesting on the base dice. And then I got 1 6, no ones on the stress.
Yeah, so you set to work, Cham, and yep, it's going to take you a little bit of time, but all the parts you need are there. None of the important essentials are burnt out, and you don't necessarily burn it out. So yes, you, for the foreseeable future, I'd say you are sort of working on this, unless you tell me otherwise. If you do pause, I'm not, because it was you did succeed. I'm not going to make you re-roll for that. You're just going to carry on. But I think it's going to take you roughly about, give or take, 4 to 5 hours of work. This fixing the ship, but you think it's because you rolled well, it will succeed.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, I think Cham's way of coping in this moment is just to focus on the small details of this very particular task and try not to think about anything else that's happening around. Just be like, this is helping, I am helping, this is good. And yeah, just try and be very mechanical about it.
Yeah, and with that focus on the task as well, I think you would drop one stress level as you're just focusing in and just like, I can do this. It's work. It's like A to B. It's just, you know, almost like, is it like paint by numbers? That sort of like mental health thing, but fixing a piloting station for you. Right.
All right.
Everyone's on the bridge.
Currently, yes.
Okay.
Apart from Wilson.
I think this right. I think actually this is probably where I would step in, just because
Please
everyone's
do.
like clustered here.
Mhm.
So I think everyone's working, and like the camera is like kind of a hazy, like walking cam, approaching the bridge. And is the doors? Did you seal the door?
Would have been smart to. We're paranoid right now.
I believe it's nice and isolated as well.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there's two
I think
vents
you
going
probably
into
hear.
it, so no.
I think you probably hear footsteps like down the hall, right? Because it's not like you're. This is this a vacuum actually?
No, it's not vacuum.
Okay, not yet. Yeah. So you probably might have heard someone like outside the door. And then there's a dude as the door slides open. What you see is a 5'4" woman with light brown skin and a short black bob cut, wearing a white like body glove, kind of like Padme in episode 2. Right, but more sensible because this is Alien, not Star Wars, so it's like actually like more practical in terms of like a sci-fi bodysuit, except that like she's got a gash like across her chest, like scrapes, is like clearly leaking white fluid from it, and just like has her hand on the door frame, and just leans in and looks around and says, I've been looking for you.
My stun rifle is aimed.
Same.
Oh, please don't shoot.
Ava?
Yes, my name is Ava. Ava 6. I am a synthetic embedded with the crew of the USS Kronos. Are you injured? Do you need assistance?
Ava, I am Captain Miller. I'm the ranking officer here.
Captain? I've been unable to locate the rest of the crew of the Kronos. I'm very worried about their safety.
What about your own safety? What's this?
An inconvenience.
Do you know anything about what happened to the ship? What your previous captain did?
There were struggles. We encountered difficulties on a mission assigned by the company.
That's putting it mildly, yeah.
The crew placed themselves in stasis to make sure that they could survive the trip back to the nearest station.
Yeah.
But I was left as a skeleton crew to make sure that the rest of the ship was maintained in their absence.
Ava, describe exactly what did, and I point at the gashes, that to you.
something very unpleasant.
Could you be more descriptive of a physicality?
And can you tell us where it came from?
I am unsure as to the exact origins, although I could speculate if you would like. I am, of course, equipped with the most advanced AMD Ryzen and Radeon Instinct technology in my central processing cores. However, my central neurological processing units have been damaged, and I have been unable to go without regular routine maintenance. As you may be aware, synthetics do require their components to be replaced every 2 years to maintain cutting edge performance.
Yeah, you're a bit outdated at this point, I'm afraid, Ava.
It has been 75 years.
Yeah.
Well, Ava, we are the crew of the USSC Montero. We're here answering the Cronus' distress signal. The Montero has been exploded. The
Yes, I felt the shock.
unpleasantness remains on this ship and imperils us all. The Cronus crew is potentially sick and thus are in isolation. Our imperative right now is to repair the Chronos and eliminate the unpleasantness.
Yes, I believe I was attacked by some manner of xenomorphic aggressor, as you may have also been. It is likely that the rest of the crew is compromised, given the nature of the hostility that we encountered on the world we were sent to investigate, but I cannot confirm, at least not without closer medical examination. Whatever you require, Captain Miller, I am willing to provide. I am programmed for your convenience.
I require to know about Special Order 966.
She looks kind of off in the side and like kind of clicks her like eye, like she's like clearly in in some kind, the closest that an android can experience to pain. I'm unfamiliar with that code or protocol. Perhaps I could access Mother and see if anything correlated is on file. But I'm unfortunately unfamiliar with whatever directive you are referring to.
Okay. All right. Our objectives of line. Cham Davis, you got it here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know. All things considered, Davis.
All things
considered.
All things considered. We got it. We got it.
One thing I would say, Ava, is that because you do, or you did, have a key card for Mother, but you have lost it during the fight. You've blacked out or were offline for a number of hours, days, weeks, until you finally sort of came to fairly recently with the rehabilitation of the Chronos. But your key card is missing, so you do not have access to Mother currently either.
Yeah, so she's like tapping through her suit, like reaching.
Yeah, but no pockets.
Oh dear. I'm very sorry, Captain Miller. I did have an access key card to Mother, but unfortunately, in my altercation with the xenomorphic aggressor, I seem to have misplaced it, and I have no particular tools or weapons with which to provide assistance with you. Although I would not be able to commit acts of aggression against other humanoids, as it does violate my programming, unfortunately.
I need a key card.
If we can
So you
locate the
still
key
gotta
card,
go.
I will be able to access Mother, yes. I do recall that there was extensive damage to the bridge And she looks around. I see that you are in the process of repairing it. I am coded as a technician to maintain the Kronos. If you require assistance, please let me know.
Davis is gonna kind of go across a little bit closer to Miller and kind of pull Miller over to the side and be like, look, Cham and I can get it done fast, but this Ava thing and Cham can probably get it done faster. And look, just between me, you, and the wall, sending you and Rye and one person from the Kronos to deal with Mother, sure, fine, cool. But you and Rye, it can't be you and Rye against the Kronos android and whoever the fuck you end up having to break out when this thing forgets halfway up the stairs why it's taking you there. It's look, I don't like these things on a good day, Miller, and this is busted. She's janky.
Davis, we're aside.
Yeah.
Okay. I need a key card. I have a feeling who has a key card here. However, I don't need the person. I think I need your help with this one. Rye's a talented technician, so is Cham. With Ava. But you, and I look down at like the armory that Davis is holding, is what I need now.
All right, Davis is gonna kind of pop the axe on her hand and spin it and go, let's go open some doors, boss.
All right. I'd say the other thing, Cham and Rye would both see this, is that you looking at Ava as well. The damage is deep, but you think with a comm check yourselves, you could repair her so that she is more fully functioning. That is, you would both be aware of that, and you would have, it's just like repairing a PC. It's easy, really. A bit of bolt here, a bit of bolt there. But yes, so she's still, I don't want to say dripping fluids again. I don't wish to speak for her, but yes, definitely fairly damaging, very damaged essentially. As if a strong breeze could just put her over.
Oh yeah, I think there's a trail of like that white liquid latex just down the hallway.
Horrible. Yeah.
All right, I can take care of that, I think.
All
If you need a
right.
hand, let me know, but I know you got this.
You focus on that. I'll try and do this. And once I'm
Alright.
done with this, I'll come and help you with that.
I'll leave the brains here in the bridge then.
Correct.
Davis and I are going to take a walk and inform the rest what's happening. Maybe get some help for Davis too.
All right, right. Can you roll for me a wits comm check, please?
Yes, I can. I'm quite good at that.
Yes, like you're meant to be here and do the thing.
Right? Is this one at a plus for any reason?
No.
Oh, that's a shame.
No. Unless Ava, are you planning to help at all?
With my own repairs?
Well, here.
I can. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's do that if that's allowed.
Yeah, of course. Yeah,
Place
plus one.
part A
Yeah,
into
plus
part
one.
CZ.
That tickles. That tickles.
Ow. Just...
Alrighty. That's a lot of dice. I like that. 2 successes.
Fantastic.
2
And
ones on
two.
this.
Oh, all right. What? Roll for me your panic roll,
Oof,
please.
I rolled a 1. And we're only adding 9.
Okay, yeah, you are. I'm gonna say, because obviously your stress level's quite high anyway. You're just taking a long time with this because you're like, I don't want to touch the goo.
Yeah.
So you do manage to fix Ava, and not that we had any conditions anyway, Ava, coming into this, but you are starting to clear up a little of the fog. You start to remember more. You remember the captain giving her final order to you before she herself was, essentially shut the door, separating herself from you as one of these creatures barreled down towards her, trying, basically saving you at that point, telling you to maintain the ship on its course, try to get the signal out there, and so you have done that. So you start to recall these things as well, as you are being fixed. So that's our bridge crew.
I just
Captain
ask,
Mill.
like,
Oh, please,
I would probably be conversing with Ava a little bit as I'm
Please.
working.
please, yeah.
Because it's a strange scenario to be doctoring a humanoid when you're definitely
Right.
not a doctor. So
Yes.
she's got, I don't think she has much of a bedside manner, but she tries to make a little bit of small talk. And at some point she'll say, Ava, have you been, as you've been walking around, have you been doing some singing to keep yourself occupied? Was that you that we heard?
Was it?
It was.
Okay.
Okay.
You were
Cool.
you were singing because the sort of final sort of program it sort of defaulted to karaoke mode, and you were singing the captain's favorite song.
Mm. Yeah. So I think so. Here's the other thing that's happening is like, as you're working, Ava's personality is changing. It's been very like beep boop, right, from the
Mhm.
damage and like processing stuff. So I think it like at some like, yes, I believe that I was singing. I have vague memories.
All right. That's reassuring in a way. You've got a lovely singing
Yes.
voice.
Oh, thank you. It's not one of my primary functions, but it was one that was requested when I was commissioned. And I am not sure how much experience you have with synthetics, but we can be customized to the needs of our the people who commission us.
Were you commissioned by the captain of this ship, or were you just commissioned by the corporation?
As a standard issue Walter model, or Ava, I should say, Avas are the female presenting modifications of the Walter model. I am often customized based on the requirements of those who I am being assigned to. There is a counseling process wherein which we are, it may seem unusual to you, but like a job interview, to make sure that we are going to the right place and that we can adequately meet the needs of those who we will be companions with.
So what was your primary function?
She flickers her eyes as you like you hit a nerve, right? And her eyes just like flutter. And I think she like softens very much so. And like we start to see like, oh, this is what you were like before. Oh, thank you. Primarily my function was to be a technician, but I also have pulled shifts as a caregiver. As I'm sure you're aware, it gets very lonely and cold in space.
Just stares down the corridor at where Miller has gone. No, I don't know anything about that.
And she looks down as you've like finished like like closed up a suture or something, right?
Yeah.
And just looks back up at you and says, "You have very soft hands."
Thanks, I guess.
No, it's I'm not sure if anyone's ever told you that. But I want you to know that even if this isn't something that you do often, I can tell that you have concern for other people.
I think maybe your perception needs a bit of tinkering. Let's see if we can fix that for you.
Cham, unfortunately, you do not have the same interaction with the piloting station. It eventually beeps into life. It turns on, and you think once the engines are going, you think you can steer this thing, and you're like, job done. Yeah, it goes left, right, down, up.
BABA start.
Yeah.
Right, I think we've got this thing going. So when the engines are up and running, we'll be able to at least point this thing in a
Yes.
direction.
That's what I'm talking about. Nice work, buddy.
Cheers. How you getting on with Ava?
Yeah, fine, yeah. Bit more human, as much as these things, no offense, are able to be.
None taken.
Wonder if you might be able to give us a few more answers, but be time for that.
Things are filtering in, so as soon as I recall them, I will be absolutely sure to tell you.
That's
After
great.
all, you deserve. It's the very least that you deserve.
You have no idea what we deserve. We've been crawling around in the dark here. Some answers is long overdue.
Say with that, we'll move to the other team, but not before I think both. Both. Sorry, that made me laugh. Both.
Savage.
Both. Rai and Cham. Your strength level goes down by 1 again as you are focusing on your tasks, and you're just sort of in. So let's switch on. Let's switch back to Captain Miller and Davis, our scouting, very well tooled up team. Basically, in my head, you guys replace Ash in the Army of Darkness picture. Essentially, like, haha. Where are you going? What's the plan, my friends?
Like I said, we need a key card. I think I know who has one.
All right.
Right. I said, let's go get him. So we
And
are heading upstairs to cryo.
That's
Right.
what I thought. So
Nice and
yes,
slow. And once we're there, we're going to need bad cup and bad cup.
delightful.
Well, choices like that, I guess I could do a bad cop.
So you make your way up onto deck A. Looking through, you can see, although the doors are shut to Mother just now, you can see there is damage in her units, presumably from the explosion, but you don't know the extent of it yet. You assume it's okay for the moment because you're not dead. And the life support system's still on, but there's a million notifications coming through, which you're just saying postpone to no restart, So yeah, and you will slowly make your way down.
God, I hope we do.
Ojalá.
And you make it to the door outside the cryo chamber. Looking in, you can see there are folks still in there. They haven't moved. You see Flynn, the scientist, is working on some sort of data pad they seem to have, like finding out some information. You see sort of Reed, not standing guard, but essentially has her gun and sort of watching the door essentially, and when she sees you appear at the window, she sort of motions, and Johns, who had been sat down, sort of like probably sort of basically nervously waiting, gets up and walks towards the door to speak with you.
And Clayton is not in this room, correct? Clayton is separated.
No, you couldn't. Clayton it's basically everyone was put back in the same rooms. You can't see Clayton just now.
Where's Clayton?
Oh, she said she needed a moment. She went to take a shower or something to get off the hypersleep home, and she insisted. Reed offered to go in with her, just make sure and after they checked it, just in case any of those things were in there, and so.
Game Mother, the showers are still within the cryos?
Yes, so
okay, they
I
didn't
will
leave.
Yeah, no, yeah. Just bye. No. No, yeah. Basically, this area is locked off as crew things. So yes, there is showers and wardrobe. I like the idea of that. You're like, oh, wardrobe, but there's also a shower. Like, anyway. But yes, so that John says yes. I believe she was in there about. I don't wish to pry. She kind of took it quite hard. I'm sure you felt whatever that was. Is that something I should worry about?
Davis, you want to take this one?
Oh, you mean when my fucking ship blew up?
Oh God.
Leaving me on this raggedy hunk of trash of yours, this moldy rat shit covered piece. You know what? You know what? You get on my nerves, young man. Already. Why are you simpering? Go get me someone in charge. I know you say it's you. It's not you. Go get Clayton. March her out here fucking naked if you have to. Go get her.
He looks to Miller.
Don't look at Miller. Look at me. I said go get her.
Yes,
and I heft the axe.
Oh, yes, ma'am. And scuttles is the best way. Back.
A true leader delegates.
The right tool
Lord
for the
Miller,
right
I'm so
job.
glad. I'm not glad we're here, but I'm almost glad we're here. That man could not have been their fucking captain.
He didn't, Davis, he didn't ask for this. We didn't
I didn't
either.
ask for this
We didn't
either, but I'm
either.
not running around going, oh, yeah, I'll go all out naked lady from the shower because a bitch with an axe got snippy with me. Like he
Davis.
didn't even stomp his foot. Fine. Look, this
Don't
is stressful and I'm
call-
judging him.
Don't call the space tigers to you. That's all I'm saying.
All I'm saying is my nerves are bad and I'm ready to put my axe. I'm ready to bury this axe in somebody right now. I'm this close to wanting a space tiger. I'm not there yet, but almost. Miller.
I'm sorry in advance, by the way.
So
We're
John's-
friends, right, Miller?
We're friends.
Right. Okay, Miller.
So John's scuttles past Flynn and Reed, who look up, and he's like, no, it's fine, and goes to the back, presses a button into a room, and is gone for some time. And Reed sort of is looking towards you, looks to Flynn, and sort of just says, sort of signals that she's going to go check as well. She goes out into the back, leaving sort of Flynn there, who sort of sits there with a data pad, and sort of points to himself and indicates, so should he come up? Nope. And he goes, cool. Sits down, sits his ass down. He's a scientist. He knows his job. And you hear commotion from the back of the chambers, and Flynn himself looks round. It's muffled slightly, and you see Johns comes charging out, followed closely by Reed, and he just comes up to you. She's gone. She's gone. I don't know how. She's not there. We checked both ends. She's not there. One of the suits is missing.
Schematics. There are air vents, air ducts, and someone wearing an EV suit could go through them.
They're
Designed.
designed to do that. I swear to you, like I don't know what she's planning. I'm just taking orders, and like she's scary, and I just look.
Johns.
Please, yes.
One of ours recently got by something in the vents. So I
hails at this.
strongly recommend you don't do what Clayton just did, because we can no longer be held responsible for her safety.
Look, I've no idea what she has plans. There's no escape pods. There's nothing left on this. But look, you need help fixing the ship, right? We know the engines, right? We need to make sure the engines are linked. Someone will need to go outside to fix them. It's a short spacewalk, possibly about an hour or two's work, but one person can do it. But someone will need to go into the reactor to restart it and just do a general search. I'm just telling you. I'm trying to be helpful. I don't want to hide anything from you, because Just please. I just
John-
need you to trust me. Yes.
Johns, I appreciate that. And I'm
Yeah.
going to consider what you said.
Okay.
But first, we need to help Clayton. Davis and I are going to go help Clayton. Once Clayton is taken care of, then we're going to see how we can integrate our teams together. But right now, I have to admit, where the three of you are right now, it's one of the safest goddamn places. I wouldn't take that for granted if I were you.
Look, I know what you think of me. Okay. I couldn't hold a torch up to the captain. She was amazing. I genuinely, I don't know what to do. Okay. I am desperate. I don't want to die. I will do anything you say, but please, please, you have to. You have to trust me. I swear I didn't know any of this.
What are the kind of faces that Reed and Flynn have to this vulnerability? Are they like feeling?
Good question. Let's do just a straight empathy check, no stress. I would say because you are having this conversation, although it is tense, both of you can drop a stress level at this point because you're focusing on this and you're trying to get information.
I'm gonna roll empathy.
Yeah, empathy with no stress.
Okay. 1 success.
1 success. How about yourself, Davis?
I got, Lord, I'm trying to roll on like 3 different machines right now. The fudge. Roll again. I got 1 success.
1 success. Looking past John's at this point, Reed is very stoic. Clearly, the soldier that has been assigned to this group hasn't made any contact with you folks, has sort of been aloof and staying to their position. The same things happen here. They have the gun, but they've not done any signs of aggression or anything like that. They're sort of grounded at this point. So you don't get a good read on Reed. But Flynn, you can see that he looks nervous because of this conversation. When he pointed to come up to if he wanted to chat to you, and Davis was like, nope. He was like, I stay here. Okay. But they don't look like they're hiding anything, if you see what I mean. They're listening to you and willing to cooperate. That's what I'd say you get from that read of them there.
We're gonna take care of Clayton. And then we're going to work together.
Look, I would offer, Reed knows the ship inside out. She did a security sweep. I would trust her to everything. There's 2 more EVA suits, so she could take one, but that's all I'd offer. She knows this. She's very well prepared. The stuff she did back on the planet was, well, yeah. She's the reason I'm here.
So, Laura, first I'm gonna sell my dog, and then I'm gonna kind of put up a finger and pull Miller a little bit back away from the intercom so that our voice doesn't carry. Just be like, okay, now look, I know we have to get Clayton. Clayton has to be dealt with.
Clayton has to get got.
But what are the chances that the soft one and the scared one can get you into Mother? Because if one of them can get you in, if you take Soft John and I take Scaredy Reed, then I have a meat shield that I can ask. I'm going to bully him for a little bit. I'm asking what the fuck's going on. He's not going to break in front of them. We haven't gotten a single useful fucking answer since we got on this ship, Miller. If Johns can get you in, you deal with Mother. I'll deal with Reed. And when we run up on Clayton, I'll deal with Clayton too. We'll make it look like space tigers.
That's sort of the threat I was thinking, Davis. But you're right. Some of them are soft. And fuck, you have them around your finger. But Clayton does too. And I am worried what Clayton can offer to turn them against us. I'd like to remove that variable.
Yeah.
You bully
I
them
know.
all you want once they can't get bullied from anyone else. The Space Tigers did it once we find Clayton.
I guess my big concern, boss, is if she's running in and out through the air vents or what remains of the A2 junction, she can get right back in there and get behind us. Team up with Reed, team up with the other one. So we come through and we're like, oh, let's go ahead and grab the soft ones now. We've wasted 3 hours looking for Clayton and can't find her. We go in, all of a sudden they've got her. Oh no, my brother, it's the get help thing all over again. It's all bad, Miller.
There was an executive suite that Wilson checked out. What if she went back there? I didn't look inside yet.
Princess has to go get her fucking hair. Go get her. All right. So what do we? Okay. Look.
We hunt
We
clips.
do this one place. We go. We check out the executive suite. If Clayton is not there, though, Miller, we've got to come back and just pull out the 2 weenies and roast them.
Fine. Okay.
All right.
Let's be space tigers this time.
And as we leave Captain Miller and Davis taking on a new role, the hunter, or the hunted become the hunter, so to speak. Cham.
Oh no.
You fix the piloting station. And as you do so, the sensor comes up. And it indicates there's a ship nearby.
Right.
No, please.
Yeah. Right. The sensors are doing the thing again. It happened on Montero as well, picking up another ship and can't see one.
As you say that, you absentmindedly just scratch your wrist. It's getting quite itchy. I think that's a rubbish cliffhanger, but we'll leave it there tonight. A itchy wrist, everyone.
Damn it.
Still terrified.
But thank you so much. Amazing. Wow, what a roller coaster of an episode. Wonderful work, my wonderful crew. We're going to go around. I always leave it a little bit later. I'm like, outros. But we're going to go around in the same order. Please promote yourself. Please follow our wonderful crew. Give them a round of a bloody applause. There was some cracking stuff tonight, everyone. So yeah, we'll go in the same order as before. Arnica, please take it away, my good friend.
All right. Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for coming by. I have been Arnica Ross, and I have been playing Pilot Leah Davis. Still 5 episodes, still alive, still what? Black, bold, and beautiful? Sure shit am. You can find me on Twitch, Twitter, and Hive at Arnica Ross. Catch me at 8 p.m. on Tuesday with Anita the lesbian and the entire mask crew in Helicon City. Things are heating up. We've had some weird shit going down. I may or may not have been talked to by Captain Jack Harkness using the voice of my dead brother on Tuesday, like it got wild. Wednesday, run over to Valorant's channel. Catch me at 7:30. I remember what time it is because I was almost late this week. At 7:30 for Morphs on the Bayou. The Morphs in the Dark, Blades in the Dark reskin for Animorphs. There we go. And then next week, I'll be doing all of this from my new apartment. I just picked up my keys today. I'm very happy. Maybe you'll get to see a picture of it on my Twitter. Follow me. And that's me taken care of for the week.
Woohoo! Thank you so much.
That comes to me. I'm Reina. My pronouns are she, they, as I've said. And you can find me on Twitter at Lucha and Lattes, where I like to talk about games and social justice. And after Sunday, I'll be screaming about pro wrestling because Revolution is Sunday night. So big ups to anyone else who enjoys the squared circle. You can find all of the tabletop role-playing games that I write and publish independently at colorspreadgames.itch.io. I am a voice actor for the Penumbra podcast, which is a queer sci-fi and fantasy audio drama. If you want to hear yourself represented in stories, that's at the Penumbra Pod on Twitter, thepενumbrapodcast.com. I'd also like to plug the recently released starter set for Avatar Legends. I was one of the authors on Avatar Legends, the role-playing game. And if you would like to get into the game, but you're not sure if you want to get all of the books and all the other stuff, you can get a reduced, lighter version of the rules with everything you need to play, including 2 adventures, one of which I may have written, or it might be in an expansion book. I'm not sure what happened. I have an adventure somewhere down the line. So go check that out. It's at Target right now for the next month or so, and then it'll be going out to local game stores. So go check that out. I'd also like to recommend that if you also like science fiction horror, obviously go play Alien. But if you want a different riff, go to Kickstarter and make sure you get notified for the release of You're in Space and Everything's Fucked by Dino Berry Press, authors of Gun and Slinger and Justicar. It is a asymmetric 2-player role-playing game where one person plays a space station or a colony or something, and someone else plays the struggler. So both of you have different sets of rules which let you collaboratively create an evolving and constantly changing horrible nightmare space scenario with influences from games like Dead Space and Dark Souls. So if that sounds super interesting, it's on Kickstarter. I think you can also go to bytes.rip/spacefucked for the whole link and check it out.
That sounds bloody epic. I'm
That sounds
finding that.
incredible.
I'm so excited. Yeah, that's actually was the original name of the stream, but apparently. But go for it, Darcy.
Holy shit. Okay, hi, I'm JC Darcy. I'm a GM, writer, game designer, performer, producer, and director of operations at Girls Run These Worlds. You may have heard of them. You can find all of my stuff. I always forget to put my own chat command in chats. There you go. There's my stuff. You can find everything I do at jcdarcy.card.co. You can find my games. You can find all the streams I've been in. I haven't got anything coming up for the moment. I'm just gonna settle down and take some time off and work on some other things. But right now I'm still scheduling. If you have got an idea for a pitch brewing in the back of your head, now is the time to send it in. Find Girls Run Worlds on Twitter. Find our pinned tweet. Fill in the form. We want BIPOC voices, queer voices, trans, neurodivergent, outside the US. If you are outside the US and you have an idea, you have a way better chance of getting a slot because it's this time of day and the Americans are at work and stuff. So we'll have fun without them, other than those who work from home and have interesting schedules. So yeah, I'm currently scheduling I've got some slots in April, May, and June and July are wide open. Please come tell stories with us. It's really good fun. Even if you've never streamed before, the support, the amount of work that people put in to get people on stream, all you have to do is turn up and tell a story. Everything else is taken care of. So just go for it. You never know.
Thank you.
Hello, I've been Maddie, pronouns she, her. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Maddie_abstract, and there's a link in the bio with everything that I do from podcasts to actual play to whatever. I'm going to plug today Realms of Peril and Glory, which is a actual play podcast that I am both a player and a GM on. If you want to hear more of me as a player, you can listen to the Veil campaign, which is the first ever series on Realms of Peril and Glory. And then I also got to run a short one shot, also in the 13th Age system, which that game uses, as a holiday special. And because I was way over ambitious and loads of my lovely friends wanted to be in it, I ended up having like 9 player characters over 5 episodes, not all at once.
Okay.
So
GMs in chat just went, oh.
Oh.
So yeah, because essentially the story is one of the player characters in the Veil campaign, Zongrock Growlshack, has a massive orc family, and everyone wanted to be a Growlshack. So it was like, okay, I'm gonna make everyone's fantasy come true. Everyone can be a Growlshack just this once, even our regular GM Zach. So yeah, if you want kind of family drama plus spookenings, that might be a fun thing for you to listen to.
Fantastic. Thank you, Maddie.
And I'm Ida. My pronouns are she and her. You can find me on Twitter at @inthepan with underscores. I have a bit of a busy week. Oh my goodness. Tomorrow we're playing Brinkwood at 7 p.m. GMT. We're brigaders and we're going to hunt down some noble vampires who are drinking our blood, and we don't like that. I don't like that in particular. I'm a very nice person who's a little bit bloodthirsty. Very nice though. On Monday, catch me at Manapod Studios at 7:30 GMT PM. We're going to pick up with a beach episode of our Starfinder campaign, which is in space. I'm really curious about how that's going to go. We had a couple of tough battles, and it's time for some nice, relaxing RP. Totally what's going to happen. Break Tuesday, Thursday. Find me at Girls Run These Worlds for the finale of Drama Llamas. Imagine me with this kind of makeup, but splashing water in my face and running it on camera as I'm screaming, crying. That'll be what happens on Thursday. So definitely check this. But a wonderful game and a wonderful cast. Very talented, very wild and wacky energy. I love it. And my plug again this week, and will be, I think, for the rest of the campaign, will be I am working with an amazing group of people at Roll for Good. Roll for Good is a primarily UK, EU community of nerds who wants to transform and harness the love and energy that goes into TTRPGs into raising money for charities and causes that we care deeply about. Our cause has been chosen by our community. We all vote on Discord, and we are supporting ILGA, which is a federation of like thousands of organizations around the world. And their job is to support and fight for world equity and justice for people who are marginalized because of their sexual orientation, their gender presentation, who they really are. And they make very concrete strides. They engage existing international systems like UN reviews for human rights treaties, where they actually go in person and say, country, you're for review. Here's a bullet list, scientifically written, evidence-based report on how you are failing your citizens and you need to do better based on the conventions you have signed. We're going to be running a 2-day event, May 27th and 28th, to raise money for this amazing organization. Join us. We're at Twitter, Roll for Good, FOR, Roll for Good. We need producers. We need artists. We need mods. Soon, we're going to be calling out for GMs and players. You want to be an MC? Come be an MC as well. All of us together, we roll and we save ourselves. We save the fantasy worlds. But this time you can roll and save the real world. So come join us.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Ada. And yeah, just to round off, hello, it's me. When I'm not causing problems on purpose, I am Fiona, the host of What Am I Rolling and the game mother for this alien game. And I will end with 2 recommendations, because I realized last week, because of some news, I didn't give out a recommendation, so that's my fault on that. But if you like RPGs that aren't sci-fi, that are a little bit cozy, gentle, then I want to recommend Zaber's Bed and Breakfast by Possum Creek Games. It's a slice of life tabletop RPG. I've seen lots of nods around the table here, so I'm like, yep. It's about a heartless witch, a peaceful house, and all the folk that make their home inside. I played a game of it last year using the Ashcan rules, and the recording of that is actually going out on my podcast Where just now, and it was so much fun. I think J-Dragon games are amazing. They are very impactful, very emotional driven, and a lot of fun. And it's such a cool game because you have great characters in it. You've got different game mechanics depending on what the chapter you run. And I think the coolest thing ever is that there's going to be legacy options where you can get stickers and unlock future chapters. And I'm like, I'm all here for that. Like, I want legacy options. So please check them out. The full game is not coming out till later this year, I believe, but you can pre-order it. But I would check out the Ashcan rules because that is so important. And the second recommendation is, Darcy stole it earlier with her with the holodeck thing, I've really gotten into soundscapes listening before going to bed, right?
Right?
So do check those out. Like I think it's Nemoscapes, I think, is on YouTube, where they have golden oldies in another room, but it's also raining, and also there's a party next door.
Yes.
It's always very long descriptions of stuff, but it's exactly what it says on the tin, and I bloody love it. I love being curled up in bed going, oh, someone's having a party next door, but I don't need to be there. So I highly recommend checking those out on YouTube. Until then, though, Darcy has also sent me some messages. I assume it's about notes for wrap up. So fantastic. As always, we sort of mentioned it, the Creator app is always open. So please, if you're like, I can do a better job than Fiona, I could be the evil DM. I'm like, yeah, sign up. Go on, do it. So in this pinned Twitter post, there's the form, so please go sign up for that. We have a casting call that's just come out. I think it was either today or yesterday, which is very exciting. Join Nerdy Teddy with an I for a one-shot of Camp Flying Moose. Check out the Twitter to apply. It closes on Monday, folks. Darcy, do you know what the system is for that at all?
That is a system called Camp Flying Moose by Alicia
Oh!
Furness.
Exciting.
It is a dedicated thing about being at camp, and there are cryptid mysteries, I believe, is the vibe.
Well, that sounds excellent. So please check that out. That's your vibe. That sounds good. And we are, we're gonna just go and do a raid. We're gonna do a raid. We're raiding into Happy Jack's RPG. They're playing City of Mists, which is also another cracking RPG. If you like your mysteries and also superpowers, all that sort of good stuff, highly recommend check out City of Mists. So yeah, we'll go into them. We'll go raid now, she says, pointing at the camera, but that's not how it works. I push the button. But honestly, thank you so much for joining us, folks. We've really had a great time, and we'll see you next week for part 6 of our Alien campaign. So we're going to wave awkwardly, and we hope to see you later. Bye.